and 3. It's the room fill up, be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go. They want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Cowboys offensive new strategy, plus free agent moves, and my draft sleeper. Come on. The name is Law Nation. I know it's draft season. I know it's free agent time for your mind. We sitting on the couch, but the grind never stops, baby. Come on. It's the room fill up. Be sure, and I mean just that, be sure. You smash that like button. Let me know if the audio's straight. Don't want it to be too loud today. Come on. Be sure to share. Sharing is caring. Subscribe to the nation. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. 5, 4. Now that's good. Appreciate you, Zach. You said the music is too loud. All right. I got it right where I want it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. So many times with the mixing board, sometimes they do calibrations overnight, so the audio levels sometimes be a little janky. But to everyone, I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to everyone who's been a part of the grind. And on top of that, if you guys want to know where I get the mic and the equipment is from, just check out the description box. All of the information is there. So if you want to start your own podcast, I got the Amazon store for you. So you just click there and I got everything already categorized and labeled for you. And that's what I've been working on. So I appreciate you guys so much. I get so many people say, hey, Law, what type of equipment you use, you know, what type of camera, etc. And all of that information is in the description box now. So that's how it will be going forward. I really appreciate you guys so much. And more information is in the description box too. All right. So first and foremost, the Cowboys got a new offensive coordinator, right? For those who've been hiding under the rock, I think that news was announced this past Saturday. And the offensive coordinator is just by name. The play calling will still be under Mike McCarthy. He will still be the guy that called the plays or what have you. So shout out to him. I think it was Friday they announced that, right? It was Friday or Saturday, one of those days. Nevertheless, the draft is right around the corner. The free agency is right around the corner. We're gonna have pet cats. You know how that goes. Your pet cat, your pet dog coming out of the draft, your sleeper and things like that. But we will not know the makeup of this team until the free agency period is over with. The NFL, the new NFL season kick off in March, and that's when teams have to get under their salary cap and things like that. So it'll be so much things to go about and to oversee. But it is what it is in honor of all of that, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Trev Stoker, appreciate you. He says happy Black History Month to all or what have you. I really don't celebrate Black History Month. I just think that that's a cause that we need to just stop it. You know, it should be a situation where as we go back and look at things. But my personal opinion of it is that it's just a mindset to set people back. It to me personally, and I could be 1,000,000% wrong, but neither here nor there. That's just my thoughts of it. Cowboy Nation, heading into the year of 2023, the Dallas Cowboys is the situation, whereas they must continue to figure out ways to look at this team and how can they improve this team on certain levels. Zach Luna, thank you for tuning in with the first Super Chat. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being part of the nation. Let me pull it up here. Don't know too much about the new guy. Still iffy about nicking, I guess, missing or nicking Kellen Moore. Kellen was only going to be even smarter this year as well. But here's my thoughts with this. Here's my thoughts. Kellen Moore, organically, he was going to be smarter. But how much growing pains are you willing to go through? Is it? How much growing pains would you be willing to go through? Don't know too much about the new guy. And we're going to pull that up and we're going to go over all of that. That's just how it looks to me. When we start talking about the fact that when you look at this particular guy, Marty Schottenheimer's son, Brian Schottenheimer, the guy that pretty much got into a role, whereas now he's going to be implementing his philosophy far as a play design, and the play calling will still be Mike McCarthy. Remember, we talked about oil and water, and we said that those two just don't mix. Sometimes you may have to add a little water into your product if you got some oil, right? But technically, it will say shake before using, right? It will say those things so that you can get a good usage out of said product. But 9 times out of 10, if you have a see-through bottle and you have an oil and the water, they don't mix. You have to shake it in order for it to work. So my thing is, with all of this, ladies and gentlemen, we had a philosophy for the last 3 years. In order for it to work, we had to shake it, meaning that it never went week to week. 1 week we would do 14 personnel. The next week we would do 12. The next week we would do 12 personnel. Then we would do something totally different with 11 personnel. We would start off saying that, hey, let's do play action. Well, 4 years was long enough. Yeah, Keith Bruce. Yeah. So we will start off saying, okay, this is the craziest thing. True story, by the way, before I jump into all of that. True story. We would look at a situation and say, all right, with Kellen Moore, there will be more play action, more motion before the snap, more creative ideas. And he would literally give us that. He would literally give us that. But then what happened here is that when it's not a true philosophy, you don't stand ground to it. You don't stand and keep ground to what it is, right? Just like I said earlier, it's not a true philosophy of the celebrating Black History Month, for 28 days, what we going to celebrate it only for February, right? But when it's something genuine, when it's something that really engraved into your mind, it will be the philosophy that we would teach the true history, 365, and not just 1 month out of a year, not just the 28 days, the smallest calendar days in the year. If it was something that was truly, see, I could take this and just twist it into what we're saying right now. If these United States really cared about the melanated people, then they would be able to look at it and say, you know what? These are the things that we done wrong to these set of people, right? We took their land. Their wives and kids. You know what I'm saying? We forced an unknown religion upon those people, right? And it will be something that we will look at it and be consistently, but not just one day, not just 2 days, not just 1 month. So that's why I look at it like this, ladies and gentlemen. When it is something of a philosophy, and if it's something of nature, it is something that you do, not forced to do. And Kellen Moore was forced upon us. And the truth is uncomfortable, by the way. So some people are like, man, dog, let me get on up out of here. We got we got a Malcolm X over here. We're going to have to get on up out of here, dog. We don't want to hear the truth. We wanted to hear the Martin Luther King side, not the Malcolm X side, man. He bringing it too rough over here. Let's go to the Martin Luther King side. You know what I mean? What is that?
Lao Tzu says, free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestation.
And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy, Samuel Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. Schottenheimer will blend better with Mike McCarthy. There won't be, hey, did you make sure you shake the bottle before you use? You used it without shaking it. Oh, my gosh. But next week, we're going to shake the bottle before we use it, right? And that's how the oil and water. Somebody got sprayed right now saying, you know what? I forgot to shake and I used it. Why the product is not the same? Well, under the instructions, it says shake before using. Some food products is like that. Shake well before you drink it so that everything can fit well within the confines of said product so that you can see the great returns. And that is what I've seen out of Kellen Moore. Now, if Kellen Moore, when he goes over to L.A. Chargers land, he probably will be in a better situation for himself, right? Because there's nothing like taking an avenue, whereas you can literally go back and say, hey, in the last 3 to 4 years, we were ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, and these are the reasons why, right? And he don't have to look over his shoulder, or he don't have to look in front of things, and they are going to be all keen in and looking at what you do, right? And on the flip side, it could be worse. It could be worse for him. Those are the two things, even with Kellen Moore. But with Schottenheimer here, I had my guy, Okoye, accumulating knowledge over years of experiences, go into the mindset of, hey, this is what he would bring to the table. And when you start listening in to what he brought, I was like, God, dog. But before we get into my guy Okoye's film, shout out to you, Lamont. Appreciate you. Law, folks don't even know how Mike McCarthy about to get down. Ooh-wee. He about to get down, baby, yeah. He about to get down, fam. And the reason why he's about to get down, he got his back against the wall. He see the tea leaves. He see it. But let me go into this before I get into that conversation. And I get it, right? You know, a lot of people going to be saying, well, Law, you know, we said this last year, right? You know, yeah. And I did say that, hey, under another year of Kellen Moore, he will be better than what he was the previous year. And I think he was better than what he was the previous year, right? So he actually, when you look at it, we had less weapons, right? We focused on running the ball more this past season, right? We seen some variations of 14 personnel that we didn't see. And on top of that, we won a playoff game. Give it up for Kellen Moore. And shout out to the offense and what we did when we were able to win 4 out of the 5 games with Dak Prescott not being there, right? So we got to look at all of that and we contextualize it all, right? We ain't talking bad about it, but that's just how it goes. But to that degree, we got to talk about this thing right here. Let me pull it up right quick. Let me pull it up. Boom. And we almost there. Is it there? All right, so the fan side, they had this conversation to the massive, of when they did everything about going over the Cowboys fans' reactions. Cowboys fans are furious. The team hired Brian Schottenheimer to replace Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. The grass, as it turned out, isn't always green. It is important to note that Schottenheimer hasn't been an offensive coordinator at every stop throughout his career. That being said, it speaks volumes that he's never proceeded over an elite offense. So he never presided over an elite offense. Excuse my hooked on phonics reading. The facts of this debate is this right here, and I'm going to paraphrase because I see a lot of things that we got to go over right here. Hold on for me, because this is what I want to bring up right here. The points that this particular Roger Sherman brought up right here. Boom, here we go. He says right here, it's once again time for me to tweet the Brian Schottenheimer's career summary. And we're going to click this right here, and we're going to look over this. In 2001, the Washington Redskins at the time, they were the 28th ranked offense quarterback coach. That was him. The San Diego Chargers at the time, because they're the LA now, in 2002 through 2005. The only year of Drew Brees' career where he didn't look on a Hall of Fame level. Shame, huh? And then in 2006 through 11, wasted some of the NFL best defense with Mark Sanchez. Hey, man, come on. At the end of the day, it was Mark Sanchez. But that's the story of another day. And then 25th and 21st in offense between the span of 2012 through 2014, right? And then in 2015, 85th in offense for the Georgia. Y'all know that team over there. Shout out to those boys. The Colts from 2016 through the 17th, the 30th in offense, right? In 2017 as the quarterback's coach. Didn't let Russ cook in 2018 through 20. And I think we're going to add some context to this. But the 32nd ranked offense with Trevor Law in 2020-21, right? So those were his stays. Law, drink the Kool-Aid every year. Appreciate you, man, Eastside Arrow. Now, do you still have, dare I say, Deshaun Watson as your profile picture? Got to man that up just a little bit, right?
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
You know what I'm saying? And all of those teams were not good. Burner Count Jr. says Mark Sanchez trained Dak Prescott, though. That I do agree. Training is different from playing, right? Because Bill Belichick is better known as one of the greatest coaches of all time. And I promise you, at any spell of his life, he was never better than me in football, right? Playing the sport, right? But that's the story of another day. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time, right? So that's just how that goes. You know, he might have coached, but he probably didn't play that well. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. And all of those things sound bad. Right? So here's how we look at this. I get it. Washington team, terrible. Chargers team, terrible. The Jets team, terrible. And what will happen here is we look at this list and we will say Seattle Seahawks, maybe that was the only team down there between 2018 and 2020 that we can go back and look upon, right? And I think I got it somewhere right here. I think I got it right here. And those were the years. Let me see if I can make it look prettier. There we go. All right, so these are the stat lines for your mind for Russell Wilson during that time span when he was with the Seattle Sea Chickens. 35 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, passer rating 110, right? And then we will look at it from 2019, 4,110 yards, right? 31 touchdowns, 5 INTs. And we went over this too. By the way. Bill Belichick is better than Peter Griffin as the head coach. Yeah, shout out to you, Chris Blunt. Appreciate you. And on top of that, the year 2020, 4,212 yards, 40 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. I think we will all take that, right? I think that even this dude, Russell Wilson, would take that. Now, we would look into all of that to see whether or not Russell Wilson will bounce back for the next season. One-handed bandit. Appreciate you. I'm excited for the hire because we will have an identity running the ball. We're going to kill teams with time of possession and play action. Dak will cook. Yeah, Yes, indeed, where my horn at, man? Malcolm says, Law, what do you think about trading Dak for Lamar Jackson? Well, if you worry about Dak Prescott contract now, can you imagine worrying about somebody with 200? He's wanting 200. 230 guaranteed money. Million. I ain't talking about dollars. So I don't know about that, man. I get it. A lot of people want to move on from Dak. A lot of people can't stand Dak Prescott. I feel I have no ground to stand on as it relates to Dak Prescott. It doesn't matter what I present. It doesn't matter what I show. I literally talk to people. That video or side-by-side clip got over 3 million views, 3 million eyeballs on Twitter. Dak, Peyton Manning. Not one time did I say that Peyton Manning is not better than Dak. But the people, the dog, they get hit with the brick. Yep. Not one time. But I for dog should have said that Marvin Harrison is better than any wide receiver we had in these last 7 years. He's better. I did say that Reggie Wayne is better than any wide receiver we had in these last 7 years during that time spell, because we had an older Dez Bryant here and we had an Amari Cooper only for the time spell of Dak Prescott, a half of a year in 2018, right? We had him all for 2019, and that's it. The year 2020, he got hurt. And then he came back in 2023. So we literally had Amari Cooper for 2.5 years. But that's a story of another day. Yeah, that's a story of another day. You can't pay Lamar, right? But people will say that, Marvin Harrison, he ate this and that. And people will say that Noah Brown is probably better than Reggie Wayne. That's just how it goes. I can't make this stuff up. That's what people said. That's what people said. We had better options, than what they had over there. And shout out to all of the people that said, hey, that was a different era. But no one can literally tell me where the new era started or when the old era ended. No one can tell me when. And it was cool when we compared those quarterbacks in that era to Dan Marino, Elway, and all of those boys, right? Nobody would say, hey, man, it was a different era. They had all type of parades and accolades every time a quarterback hit a marker, and it was nothing taken away from them, right? Dallas Clark. Yeah, man, people, wee. I'm telling you, it's the Mandela effect, right? It is. Mandela. It's the Mandela effect. It's just what it is. Y'all look up the Mandela effect. Holler at your boy, And all I want us to do is, can we get back to what we were? If we hit things the right way, run the ball, protect the ball. Dak Prescott, you for sure. You for sure can't turn the ball over. But it's not about one isolated player. It's about the collective. I truly believe we would not have one Super Bowl without Emmett. There's nobody that can match the production that he had. Not Sherman Williams or whoever the other running back that we had on this team. The dude had 19 touchdowns in the playoff. That record still holds ground to this day. But that's a different era, though. It's a different era. You know, the playmaker, different era. But, man, that still hold ground to this day of what he was eligible to do or able to do. That's just what it is. But, you know, if we make these moves, we can get back to what we were 30 years ago. But this is all we get from Jerry.
I ain't trying to be like 30 years ago. I ain't trying to make no comeback. I'm gone, and I want to stay gone.
Come on, Jerry. That's what Jerry said basically on this group. That's Jerry's song.
How do you want to get to the Super Bowl? You saw what the Eagles did. The Rams got rid of all their picks. What is the Cowboys plan to kind of get you what you need, another championship?
I'm reluctant, even though by nature I'm a wildcatter. Anybody that thinks I won't take a chance has misread the tea leaves. Think longer term, and I'm real hesitant to bet it all for a year. In essence, we're seeing a couple of teams that have had some real success putting it all out there and paying for it later. In Philadelphia and Los Angeles. Don't think that doesn't pop my head and get my eye as far as doing it, and I know how to do that. That's pretty impressive to have two teams in the last 2 years empty the bucket and get to the Super Bowl. My point is that I do know how to take risk. They're absolutely right. We have been in the middle here for a few years. I like where we are right now.
Everyone's got a different.
So he said he liked being in the middle, man, in the middle of it. But I'm going to tell you guys, let me hit him with the shame real quick. I ain't going to tell him to lean forward. I ain't going to do that.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I don't think the Eagles necessarily emptied the bucket. I think that they made better calculated decisions with their bucket. And that's not me giving Eagles all of the praise when I say that, you know. Where that bird at? Shoot that bird down. But these are the facts. I told you guys before, and I'll say it again. When you put a player on the franchise tag, it cripples the organization by multiples. Why, Law? Why? Well, franchise tag, you can't do multiple things. You can't prorate the salary. You can't stretch it out. It's a big hit. It's a hole that's in the bucket. But you still got the bucket. That's the craziest thing. So pluck it. You got the hole in the bucket when you put the franchise tag on players. I was not pro for D-Law to be on the tag. I was not pro for Dak Prescott being on the tag. I for dog sure didn't agree to put Dalton Schultz on the tag because it cripples the organization and franchise. It literally put a bigger hole in the bucket, but you still got the said bucket. And you're not able to prorate it. Shout out to you, DT. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Darryl Thorpe, man. Appreciate you. And my thing is, when you do that and you look at what the Eagles just done, you see the reason why they was able to do the AJ, the reason why they was able to sign other guys is because they didn't put a big hole in the bucket. And we know the storyline, whereas you can prorate and stretch the money out. You can literally turn $5 million into $30 million, right? Because why? Here's the signing bonus of 6 or 7, and then you can take the rest of that money and stretch it out for over a course of the year. You can't do nothing when you sign a player to the franchise tag. And keep this in mind into your mental. When you do sign said player to the franchise tag, that player also feels salty. I mean, granted, they getting paid the big money, they'll feel happy for it. But all of the players want to know where they're going to be at for long term. And other teams see these things. And when I'm telling y'all for sure, for real, when you have family and you have kids and things like that, yeah, $8 million feel cool. But the wife, the lady, she's angry because now you got to pick up kid and move him to this school or move him to that school, or you want to sit down and settle down and get the house, right? But if you fool around and cash in and buy into a house, especially out here in Dallas, and you thinking that you're going to be here for a long stay, and then all of a sudden, we like to let you know that you're released, because you didn't live up to the expectations. Because every play you are subject to being another Ron Shazier hit away, and I know that sounds crass, but that's the reality of it. And the players are going to have that in their mindset when they play on that franchise tag. Yeah, the money is cool, but I need to have some type of an assurance for the next 2 years or the next 3 years. So that's why players despise the franchise tag. They would rather have, and it goes back to my guy Koye, shout out to him. He said, would you rather be a king for a day or prince for a lifetime? I think the players would like to have that money for a longer time versus all at once. And especially when you're talking about 33 and the third percent go to Uncle Sam, and then another 10% or however the negotiation goes to your agent. And then mama gonna have her dues. Shoot. You think some people think $3-4 million is a lot of money from the football perspective. Shoot, that's only about $500,000, $600,000 a year, give or take. But that's a story of another day. Let's go and pull this up. Shout out to my guy Koye, because I'm going to play this audio right here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up though. Boom. And we're gonna listen to what he say briefly, and we're gonna go over some of the things. Be sure to follow my guy Koye on all platforms and wherever you may find and see his content. As soon as I find the way to showcase it. Hold on, y'all give me a few seconds here. Boom. Here we go. Brian Schottenheimer. Eastside, Dallas need to draft more players from Bama. I agree. I agree. I do like Bama boys. Travis says Jerry made a mistake trading Cooper for peanuts. He would not admit it. Dak regressed a little bit without him. That my friend, I do agree. Option routes, stop routes, and those hitches and the curls. You need a nuanced route runner, and you need to have someone that got the pedigree of knowing how to get separation. We was one of the worst teams in separation in the National Football League.
That's from Snowfall on FX, one of my favorite shows. I like that show. But let's dig right in. I don't think we'll be going after an offensive coordinator, and here's why. We have a guy on the team, if he's still here, that is, because Jerry been catching bodies. But Brian Schottenheimer, who is one of McCarthy's proteges, who I like, and this footage is from his stint over at Seattle. He was there between the years of 2018 and 2020. And I think had it not been for a COVID year and a down year due to COVID, he probably would still be there because he did a pretty good job his first 2 years, 2018 and 2019 there. And you can clearly see from the film, he's a guy that, he knows how to run to numbers, although, he likes power running schemes. He does set his running backs up, and
let me put this in perspectives. My guy Koye, he broke this down before the news was announced. So put this in perspectives of why he did his homework on this. So let's listen.
Uses the run game to pull the opposition forward so that he can get those big plays in behind you downfield, and I think that's what Russell Wilson probably was missing this year as well. But you can see that he's if he's running horizontal, he's manipulating the linebackers in such a way that they don't ever have numbers on his man, meaning there's never more defenders in a gap than there are blockers, and he's pretty good at that. And then when it comes to utilizing the running back, so we got guys like Pollard and Zeke and maybe even Bijan Robinson, who this year we didn't utilize half as much as we should, those running backs anyway. That's not something you're going to have a problem with Schottenheimer if he...
See how he set the lines up for protection right here. And I'm going to tell you guys, we need these type of things, especially when you have a loaded box. And we need that type of diminutive authoritations with this, because if we don't get these type of looks, I'm telling you, teams been dropping 7 DBs or 7 defenders, and we haven't had any answer to that beyond running to a point and turning around and seeing whether or not the wide receiver can dictate the hole where they need to be at. So I do love this concept. Listen.
Winds up being the guy that calls plays with McCarthy or maybe, by himself altogether. Look at this play here, though. You see how he wants to run to the left, but first he moves the running back left just to spread them out. And now that he has the space that he wants, Carson's able to just get right through there due to the fact that they moved that linebacker out of position, and he gets like 21 yards on this play only because of the way the play was designed.
No, low key, this probably be a touchdown if that's Tony Pollard, though. Or Bijan Robinson, you know what I'm saying? I like the Gibbs kid, though. And he'd probably be a cheaper price versus, Bijan or what have you. But let's watch this again.
Just to spread them out. And now that he has the space that he wants.
Kick that thing all the way out there, baby. But he got to control him, though.
Carson's able to just get right.
Yeah, right there. Squeeze. Get up there, baby.
Out of position. And he gets like 21 yards on this play only because of the way the play was designed, not because of anything special that he did. I mean, he had to break some tackles at the end, but the way that he keeps defenses off balance with his pre-snap reads and some of the looks that he gives, I like. Along with the fact that he's definitely dedicated to the run, and he brings extra linemen in because he likes to back.
Ooh, look at that. Hat on everybody.
A defense. He doesn't care what kind of defense you are. He has an identity. Schottenheimer has an identity. And that means we're going to power.
Ooh, let's go back to this right here, though. Hat on hat.
Schottenheimer has an identity.
Squeeze up through there, man. He got bar right here. That bar right. Is that bar?
And that means we're going to power run.
Yeah, Bar wasn't going about that action.
Down your throat till you don't like it anymore. And then when you sell out to try to stop the run, we're going to throw the ball behind you. If you don't sell out to stop the run, we're going to keep doing it. And this is what Seattle was known for. And I think with the way we're built, if you give Dak some of these easy looks that you're going to see Russell Wilson have due to the fact that the Vikings just weren't able to key in on the pass all that often because they didn't have to throw the ball all that much. They ran the ball even when they were down in this particular game. That's why I chose this game. I wanted to see if Schottenheimer would abandon the run, and he didn't. And that's in none of the games that I looked at for this film. He does not abandon the run. I think he ran on average 500 times per season, which is a hell of a lot. And 2018, he was ranked 9, and I think 2019, he was ranked number 6 in total offense, or vice versa. But those were the rankings in those 2 years, his first 2 years there in Seattle. So it also shows that it actually works. And their personnel, and you guys can argue with me if you want, but their personnel, I don't think up front, their line isn't as good as ours is today. And I think if these guys are able to bowl over the opposition the way they were under his scheme, I think it'll be a wise decision to give him a strong look here because of the way he sets guys up. Look at this setup. So you see how he gets Hendricks to jump into that gap on the run there, right? So they see that. Very next play, they give him the same look to get Hendricks to move over to the left so they can try to get behind him to the right here with Lockett. And you can see that there's definitely a progressive idea as to what they want to do offensively here. And this is not just one game or a one-game fluke. Although he misses this throw, it's a great play.
Man, that's a tough throw right there, though. Yeah, safety over the top, squeezed the guy down underneath. Hendricks did a good job of covering underneath.
You can see the concepts that they're trying to set up.
I do like the overall concept part of it because I truly believe, shout out to my guy Okoye, I truly believe that in these last few years, we haven't really attacked the team weakness. And we didn't have any identity. So my thing was, even with the Seattle Seahawks, we knew that when you going in to play them in that spell, because I think we beat them in the playoff that year in 2018, right? We had to stop the run. That's the only way. You stop the run, and force them to throw the ball. But even with that, it would have been a long night because it's going to be that. It's going to be that because they create the opportunity for Russell Wilson to throw the ball around because of their running approach. And it's easier because most teams say, hey, we want to stop the run. Whereas when teams started to play the Cowboys, it wasn't about stopping the run. It was about, hey, can we just stop the pass? We're not going to give Dak Prescott a single high look anymore. That whole philosophy changed in 2000, I think the latter part of 18. You give the presentation of, hey, we trying to stop the run. No, we just trying to stop the pass. That's why they were able to do that successfully, even in pass pro defense. They stopped the run with pass pro defense. Rushing only 4. Light body box. I think all of that changed. Law, in the latter rounds, bro, Spears from Tulane, running back, and Gibbs will make TP a wide receiver, man. All the speed. Whoa, this is smoke 14. Yeah. I appreciate you for that super chat. And do we have any other super chat? I think I saw one. He says, Law, Spears from Tulane is my sleeper. Running back Gibbs as well. Speed, baby. Yeah, sleepers. Let me tell you where I'm at. So far, I'm on wide receivers and DBs, but I've been looking at DBs majority of this time frame, this offseason. And what I like to do is just knock out all of my groups before they combine. And then I like to see whether or not what I seen, like from tape, do it marries up with what they do on the field at the combine, right? So that's how I look at it. I have a different approach. Some people look at team concepts, and I like to look at it like I look at it. This is hard to do. Grading the draft is hard to do. Don't let people make you think that it's easy, right? Because you got big programs like Alabama, Georgia, what have you, and you have bigger schools, whereas you can see that player isolated and being hidden, right? But when you start looking at some of the smaller schools or what have you, and the competition there, I say, how do you grade that particular person, right? And then do you understand, like, this person, is he battling through an injury? Is he coming off of one? Just for example, even from big programs, Cam, what's the guy named Cam Brown? Good kid. I like his skill set as a DB. He don't give up a lot of yards, but he's coming off of an injury, right? That lower his stops. The Forbes kid, Emmanuel Forbes for Mississippi State. Dog. Straight dog. But on this next level, I don't think that he's going to be an outside corner. His size is small. And then we got to contextualize the draft philosophy within the philosophy of the Cowboys organization. Height, the measurables. Like, who they going to pass up on. Forbes may be too small for them, right? But the dude is a dog. And I would love to have that kid on this team. Shout out to Mississippi State, right? So we can look at all of those things, contextualize it, and look at it. Of course, Alabama, Georgia players belong to us, Law. Stop it, Shout out to you, I am awake. And I feel you, fam. I feel you. I do like Cam Smith. I do like Ringo. Ringo's really good, too. Here's what I think of Ringo. I think on the next level, you might have to say, hey, man, you want to be safety, But we'll dive into all of that. We're going to do the final word this week, draft series, and it's going to start on Thursday, right? And then when we get closer to the draft time, I think we'll do the Tuesday and Thursday draft concepts and draft thoughts. But we can't get in front of the horse, put the cart in front of the horse, because every team going to look different when you start talking about free agent moves, right? Law, with the new scheme approach, this is from Stephen Gibson, do you think we need to see more from Dak in the preseason? That's a brilliant question. I think you do. You need to see more out of Dak Prescott, and there's no more of like, hey man, let's bubble wrap the quarterback. Bull sugar. I need that quarterback to have his butt out there in preseason games. Sweaty Dak. I need to have him out there, right? Because you got to get on the same page. We need to see what we're gonna get out of Jalen Tolbert, because I got a pet cat on this list that I would love to see on this team, right? Who do y'all like? Y'all like Jalen Hyatt? I can't say that man's name. Or Cedric Tillman better, you know? So those are things that you look at, and far as the philosophy of this team. I like the Rashid Rice. I like him. SMU kid. And I'll be able to have these names just like that. That Jackson kid from Ohio State, Jackson Smith, yeah, he's dope. He's dynamic. Marvin Mims, I like him. I like DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? I feel you, Christopher Blunt. Yeah. Let's do this. Did I cover over everything that I wanted to go over? Yes, I did. All right. And we'll do it. Hyatt is a smokescreen. You took, man, I hate you, man, APJR. You took my thunder, baby. I'm just playing, but I love you, man. APJR. Jonathan Mingo is my sleeper wide receiver coming out of the 2023 draft. I may be 1,000,000% wrong. Y'all can like Quentin Johnson. Y'all can like all of those boys. Y'all can like all of them. You know, who else they like? Who else y'all like? Y'all, but Jonathan Mingo, shout out to him from Brandon, Mississippi. Went to Ole Miss. Tank Dale, y'all can have the Tank Dales, Tupac, Biggie. Give me the dude like Jonathan Mingo, 6 foot, shoot 225 with nimble feet, physicality. If we want physicality, give me him. Jamin Muse, safety out of Buffalo Law. I'm gonna wait. I can't wait till I get to my safeties. Plays big, Jay Lombardi, yeah. Woo! Eagles fans, I'm not giving y'all flowers right now, but I'm going to say this. I'm not saying that Jonathan Mingo is A.J. Brown, nor a DK Metcalf. But, man, it's time out of that program, out of Ole Miss, he is up there, baby. He is flat. I'm not finna give him all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to wait for the numbers and all of this stuff to come out and these sorts of things. I know people love Quentin Johnson. I know that people love Rashid Rice. I know that people love those boys. Somebody, Mingo better than the TCU wide receiver? I said for me. Quentin Johnson is good. I like what he brings to the table. 6'4", 200 pounds or what have you. But give me the 225. Big boy plays with that physicality. Yes, indeed, man. I done seen him just, and I look at the difference of the programs too, though. But I'm not saying that I would be angry and upset at any of those boys. The draft is a forever ongoing process. Keep in mind, it is a situation that a player is not just who he is at the draft. He is forever growing. And it takes 2 to 3 years to develop a player and to grade a player coming out of the draft. For those who are out here thinking, let me know, was DK Metcalf a first-round draft pick? No. I mean, we picked Tristan Hill over DK Metcalf, right? So let that sink in. Smoke says, Law, my pet cat is Cincinnati's tight end Cincinnati. Not his name, but he's 6'6" and blocking monster. Speed catches everything. Okay, yeah. Yes, indeed. Played on the same team as Zay Flowers, yeah. At Boston College. Appreciate you, man. I like Nolan Smith. Ooh, y'all are on it, baby. Quentin Johnson going early in the first round, so we're not getting him. Yeah, he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone, you know. Devontae Adams was in the first round. Antonio Brown. the wide receiver was in the first round. So you forever growing, and it depends on what system you go into too. If you got a guy to try to make you do stop routes and comeback hitches and stuff like that, you would never see the full capacity. Like, we don't know who Simmons Fehoko is, right? Shoot. And one thing Mike McCarthy would be in his bag with is with tight ends that can catch. And when he came out last season and said, you know what, I would like for Simi Fehoko to be a hybrid, that was probably in his mind that he was seeing Jermichael Finley, right? He was probably looking at Jimmy Graham, and I'm not saying that Simi is that guy from a mentality mindset, right? And the other kid that was, God dog, his name is at the tip of my tongue. He was pretty good for the Saints for many of years. He was just taller than everyone, fast, boy. And it's not Michael Thomas, but it was the other guy. His name is at the tip of my tongue. But sometimes you can get people to fit your system, and they can pick up things, but you don't supposed to throw everything at them, right? You don't supposed to give a kid calculus before they finish doggone college algebra. You know what I'm saying? They still on 1 + 1. They on basic arithmetic, and you're going to throw in quantitative physics and stuff like that. So quantitative analysis, and they sitting there like, man, I used to like math, but I don't like it anymore. Why? You watch any tape on Max Duggan yet? I only saw the Senior Bowl and a few of the other clips from him. And on top of that, we can all say that Max Duggan, he's not a finished product. We can all agree to that, right? It's going to be it's going to be a minute for him. I don't think he's going to be a first or a second, nor a third round. Marcus Colston, appreciate you, boy. Woo. Y'all be on it, baby. Y'all be on it. But it took a right system and the right quarterback for Marcus Colston to be that dude, right? Smoke says, did you see Turpin was a wide receiver last night? They needed that on offense. Turpin, TCU. I mean, Turpin, you look at his USFL tape and you say, hey, man, that dude can catch. He can do all of those things. But in USFL, they wasn't having him going through option routes, right? They didn't have him doing that. We're going to do a 9, post, dig. Those are your 3 routes. Yeah, Max is done. Yes, indeed. All right, let's do this. How long? We've been 12 o'clock. Appreciate you. Jimmy Graham, all of those boys. Marcus Colston was a 7th round draft pick. Kellen Moore didn't believe in using his weapons with speed. Yeah, I saw a touchdown. I know that this was a Pro Bowl, for crying out loud. It's Pro Bowl. And all I could think of, it tickled me. It tickled me. Did y'all see the touchdown pass that C.D. Lamb caught when he was in the middle of the field? It's a deep drag over, or I guess, a deep cross route, and Geno hit him right in between where they're playing a soft course cover too. But that's the doggone defense that they played us all year. Deep drag, and it was just simple. He didn't have to stop his feet. He didn't have to come back and make his progression back to the ball. They just used him for it like what it is. Look, the NFL is simple, but yet complex. There's really nothing new under the sun. But shoot, you can literally make riding the bike hard, right? If you just only read the instructions and say that these are the combination that you have to do, you can make riding a bike hard, right? There's people that can jump on a motorcycle and be like, oh, Lord, I don't know how to even turn it on. We didn't give Turpin none of those routes. Right, Edward, that what made me mad. That what made us mad. We didn't do none of that, right? We didn't do the things that helped this team out, offensively speaking. And Dak Prescott, he have his warts too. He ain't unscathed with anything, right? Y'all get the likes up, man. Y'all want me to keep going? Somebody give me the like report. Let me know whether or not y'all want to keep going or not. Got a whole bunch of stuff we can uncover. I'll go over 'em. Shout out to my guy, Coyer Medium. Let me know. Is that why we need to get rid of more? Well, philosophies, just different. Different philosophies, man. Keep rolling. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Keep going, Beast, man. I need to have that life report, man. If y'all liking this, we keep going. If not, I got other things. I got some film analysis. I'm going to come out with my top 5 DBs and my top 5 wide receiver film. Appreciate my guy, Coyer. Let's do this, all right? Lisa, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the nation. Keep going. Appreciate you. Off-season talk and free agent moves. I heard Keenan Allen. He probably did like that. Oh, y'all about to bring him on? Oh, no. Y'all can release me, man. I want more and more money, man. I want more and more money, man. I'm gonna be the Amari Cooper over there. Y'all get rid of me. No.
FBI, open up!
That's how that goes, right there.
Call my phone.
That's how that goes.
Line. Only ones who down for line. Keep it super thorough my way.
No, I don't want no.
My way on this side. Call my phone. Hit
Oh my God.
line. Only ones who down for
There is one other participant in the conference. The recording has started. Please note that your storage is almost full. Please log in and delete recordings or purchase more storage from your account.
Shut up, lady.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Yeah, shut
All
up.
participants are muted. Please announce yourself.
She doing all that talking.
Keep it off the books and keep it coming in. Bitch, the old whip, see what I'm coming in. The inside caramel just like 100 grand. Call my phone, hit my line. Only ones who down for real, down for life.
Only the one that down for the nation, baby. Everybody else, y'all had to call in.
Call my phone, hit my line.
Come on.
Only ones who down for real,
Come
down
on.
for life. Keep it super thorough my way on this side. Keep it super thorough my way on this side. Heard you moving funny, had to cut you off.
Come on.
Had some more friends like my brothers, I can't trust it all. Same ones in your corner, wanna see you fall. Now I only need an account, the ones who ball with me. Down to fall with me. Down to put it on the line when lose a draw with me. Those my brothers, different.
All right, 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. Appreciate y'all so much. All right, so we got some people that's up in here. Coach Marv from the 803, you're live. Talk to me, Coach.
What's going on, Law? Hey, man. You know, I think the biggest asset of this new offense is that it's new, and that's for anything will get us where teams will have to find out what our new tendencies are. I hadn't heard a player come out yet that said that they was disappointed that Kellen Moore is gone. I don't think that's you may have heard something, and that can tell you volumes of how the players feel about the direction of the offense. I think we should not throw away guys like Tobert.
Right, you only had 1 year here, and on top of that,
right.
like Tobert, Fihoko, the other guys that we drafted personality sakes too. So Michael Gallup, he really not gonna complain about anything outside of me talking about his film. But CD Lamb, he's not a big boisterous guy like that to complain. So a lot of these guys, they probably looking at it like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? They probably relieved, but they ain't gonna talk about it because of the type of personality complex they have.
We talked about this in training camp a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned to you long time in training camp that the frustrations that Cooper went through, some of that was the frustrations of C.D. Lamb, and we talked about it as being he was being childish. But if you really don't believe, in how you are really attacking things, it's going to show in his biggest moments. And I want to correct some people on something, and this is a coaching thing. Calling plays is one thing, right? And I'm not going to go into the point of the play call. The play call is very important, but the collective study and the focus of your offense, of how you game plan to attack a defense, is the most important thing when you talk about the play call is just the end result.
Right. The installment, the concept, those are things that you really try to label out, right? And then you want to be able to have your speed guys on certain packages for speed, and then you want to have your physicality guys for certain packages for physicality. This is chess, but I don't think in the last 4 years or more that we played to that type of strength or coached.
No, and I think the game plans against the 49ers in the last 2 years, the actual game plan of the offense was not a good game plan to attack the 49ers. I think they baited us into running away from where they really didn't want us to attack, and we went into something else that ran into the thing that made them better. So, and then we didn't utilize all our skill sets of our players where they would have been terrified of, and then we could have really attacked them. So I think we're going to do a new evaluation of our skill set and our players, which is going to be which is a refreshing thing for me as a Cowboy fan, because if this is a new offense, this will be a first new offense in almost a decade, seem like. So that's a good thing. Not saying you're going to throw away everything, because all offenses have the same, but we may get an identity of who we are, and that way you always know what you are. Your team believes in your identity, and it is not where you go one way one week and everything is going well, and then you never see it again.
No doubt.
So let me throw one other thing, Laura. Other people know you got them lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you a message. We still don't have a linebacker coach, I don't think.
Right.
And I would love to see. I know a lot of people, fans are out there, clamoring about Sean Lee, but I would love to see a guy named Ken North Jr. be called back here to Dallas. He worked with Quinn as a linebacker coach in Seattle when they won the Super Bowl. He worked with a great linebacker that we tried to get last year, and was in the tutelage of breaking him a all-pro linebacker. He's been a defensive coordinator before. He's got Super Bowl experience as a player, as a coach, and he's worked well with Quinn. I think that would be a great asset to that linebacker room for that mentality, as the experience, as well as working with some very Hall of Fame type linebackers like you did in the beginning of the guy that this was the middle linebacker, and his name is slipping me, at Seattle. So I think Ken North Jr. would be a great. He's at UCLA as a middle linebacker coach, but I think that would be a great hire. And Quinn would be very knows him, and they work well together. And I think that would be great continuity. And I think Michael Parsons and these young linebackers will benefit greatly for that.
I got no rebuttal to that. I appreciate you, Coach Marr. Thank you for this.
All right, brothers.
Good call from Coach Marr, man. Ken Norton, let me expound on that. That will be more of, not oil and water, right? There'll be more of the quality of the same. I think that Sean Lee will be more of the water and oil analogy, although I'm not going to take away what Sean Lee brings to the table, but I'm looking at it like I want somebody that Dan Quinn knows, right, and can implement his voice, because what you want as a defensive coordinator are the people that's with you to echo the same thing that you're echoing. Shout out to Sean Lee if he is a guy that they bring in, which would probably be the more logical thing from the Jones family aspect of it. Bring in somebody that they know, another Garrett guy per se. But give me Ken Norton. He was here. He lifted the Lombardi Trophy here. Bring in somebody who actually lifted up a Lombardi Trophy versus someone who didn't. You know what I'm saying? From that mind's sake. And also, why not? Bring him in. Cup of coffee. Won't hurt, And shout out to Sean Lee. There's no shade of Sean Lee. Nobody worked as hard as Sean Lee. And I got my guy, Jamie. You live.
How's it going, my brother?
Man, all is well. I can't.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Yeah, man, I was doing some reading, and I completely forgot about this during the trade deadline, bro, that we were in talks with Denver about maybe making a trade for Jerry Jeudy, bro, and I was a little disappointed that we didn't make that trade considering all they were asking for was a second-round pick.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Jeudy, he was still in his rookie contract, so, I mean, if this year comes around, I know they're talking about, I think we're going to get about 3 compensatory picks for Gregory Williams and Cedric Wilson. I wouldn't mind trying to kick the tires on that deal again, maybe for Jerry Jeudy or something like that,
Well, now you got to be on the sales side with the Denver Broncos because they got a new coach now. And if I'm Jerry Jeudy, I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, Marcus Colston, I'm looking at Jimmy Graham. I'm looking at all of the wide receivers that ever played under Drew Brees, and I'm sitting here thinking like, shoot, maybe, just maybe, the tides can turn in good favors for me, and even he may be more happier now knowing that he got a qualified coach that's going to be coaching him. So I think that the Cowboys missed out on that one. We missed out on that one waiting too long, trying to be too cute. So Jerry Jeudy story
I would definitely like them. I know Dallas. Jerry likes to go make the team going through the draft, but this year I hopefully he can just sit there and maybe use some of those picks to try to make some kind of like a DK Metcalf, like you were saying, or a DJ Moore or something like that. But yeah, I'd like to see something happen this year via trade, bro.
Yes, indeed, man. I'd like to see something like that happen for real. And, hey, all hopes, that's all we leaning on if the Jones family can just get out of their own way and get back to what they was doing 30 years ago. Appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, indeed. Every time we look at this and we can say, I love this one. Because, hey, man, Jerry, if you do this, if you do that, we can be like we were 30 years ago. And here's Jerry again.
I ain't trying to be like 30 years ago. I ain't trying to make no comeback.
Huh?
I'm gone, and I want to stay gone.
Jerry, come on, man. Make these moves, man. He don't want to do it, man. He just...
Get your damn act together. Don't like your attitude.
Come on, man. All right, my guy, MJ206, man, you live, man.
What up, Law Nation? How you doing, brother?
Man, all is well. I can't complain, man.
What y'all gotta remember, I watched the Goya tape.
Yeah.
I was watching how shot him off. Just kept forcing that run. And the schemes they was running, that sorry offensive line, it was getting big holes.
Yeah.
Now remember, Dallas offensive line is better than Seattle. So Dallas they'll probably pick up one more offensive player, and then they'll probably pick up
Wouldn't do that shit, nigga.
And offensive line, and the rest gonna be defense. So right now, and you gotta remember, look what you just said about CeeDee Lamb. I mean, oh, this is a sweet route. You gotta remember the new routes, a lot of screens, a lot of slants, going deep. Them receivers that we got on our team now, Callaway, Dennis Houston, like you say.
Yeah, Dennis Houston. I don't know what he gonna do, man.
No, he'll be good, because you got to remember I told you about that receiver, and I never thought of y'all concept when y'all the ones showed me. I looked, I said, damn, they right about Kellen Moore route run. That shit is horrible.
Yeah.
Now them guys get to run like they did in college. So now 85, ooh, you might get cut, brother.
Noah Brown.
Yes. Noah Brown, you might get cut now, bro. Because now them guys get to show they tap. Oh, we.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's what I'm going to have to say here. Now, let me get back to the screen on me. now we can see Brandon Smith. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
You know, Brandon Smith, man, big boy from Iowa. Wait, I promise you guys, when it was just the one-on-ones without all of the route concepts, you got to pivot, you got to play with leverage and these sorts of things. Not saying that the wide receiver don't have to, but when it was just the one-on-one, Brandon Smith, he wore number 80. He was killing all of our DBs.
All of them.
All of them.
You think they ain't happy? I'm gonna tell y'all, and everybody keep thinking. I'm telling y'all, and that coach, like, look at this. I'm gonna get my Schottenheimer. He gonna get that run concept. Now I get to let my receivers go, and now y'all gonna get to see number 9 on the dime.
Yeah, number 9, man, Cavante Turpin, man. I would have.
They got so much speed.
If I'm Schottenheimer, if I could just speak to him and Mike McCarthy, I'd sit him down, both of them, and say, hey, man, I know I never played in the National Football League, but here are some Percy Harvin packages right here. You know, Percy Harvin. You know what I'm saying? Who remember Percy Harvin? I'm not saying that Cavante Turpin is Percy, but what I'm saying is Percy Harvin. I need to have these packages installed. Like, as my grandfather would say,
look
nah.
what you just said. He made the Pro Bowl as a punter. He a Percy Harvin.
He is that, huh?
When you make the Pro Bowl
without the weed. Yes, indeed, man. Yeah.
So we got so much speed. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. That's the stress level is gone. Now only thing they need to do now is catch the ball. Whoever catch the ball better, that's who's gonna make the team. Cause you ain't got no more excuses.
No doubt, man.
And it's gonna make Dak Prescott. I ain't gonna lie. This might be best. It's gonna be less throwing, and that's how we used to win with Troy Aikman.
Less throwing, man.
225, and we killed teams. Man, we've been. I'm feeling so happy. I'm glad, and they got a line coach. He's one of the best line coach.
Solari. Solari is an old school guy who we'll find out, man. Hey, as much heat that I gave Joe Philbin, I'm gonna sit back and watch now. I'm gonna see what Mike Solari gonna do. I'm gonna see what he gonna do. And let's not forget about our secret weapon, man. Duke Manyweather. He is the secret weapon. He's weapon right here. He's a secret weapon, man. I appreciate you, Marvin, man. Thank you so much for calling in, fam.
I'm so excited, Cowboys. So we should be excited. We got rid of Kellen Moore, like Las Vegas.
No doubt, man. Salute, bro. Yes, indeed. That's my guy, man. I can't wait to bump into him again down there at Oxnard. Yeah, here's what we got. I'm awake, or you can't teach talent law. You're right. You can't teach it, man. You can't teach it. You can't. You're right. You got me with that one. You can't teach it. You can't teach it. Either you got it or you don't, right? as much as you guys could say, I don't have the talent to sing like Luther. It don't matter how it goes. But when you do have a Luther, you got to be able to utilize Luther Vandross, you know. But I got my guy from the 860 calling in from the VIP lounge, man, on the off-season talk, man. What's good?
Lord's VIP, baby!
Yeah, what's good with you, man?
Lord,
the superstar.
Lord, you know, in the off-season, Lord, we just got to take a pause, man. You know, Lord. Lord, what I see, Lord, you were talking about something earlier, and I don't even want to go there because, you know, when you talk certain things, people start, you know, they want to cancel you when you start talking about the crimes that America has committed.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
We can't go there, Lord. You know, we can't talk about.
Nah, man, we can't go there, man. Come on, man. You know how it go. They probably won't cancel me now already for what I said open. What? He don't celebrate it? You know, wait a minute. Hold on. my guy from Mississippi said the same thing, Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny, Law? I did this with a good Italian friend of mine. We always bring our kids together, and we were talking about this subject, Law. And I said, well, then bring your kids over, and I'm going to give you a race relations subject. So we brought the kids over, and we had Monopoly, Law. Law, Monopoly is the game that everybody could play.
Right.
So I said, well, look, we're going to play a flip relation. Remember trading places back in the day? We're going to trading places. So I said, your kids are to wait after my son go 400 times and acquires all of the properties and leaves you 10% of the properties, and now it's your turn to go. Now it's your kids to go. And not only do we have to go around 400 times, but your kids have to move my son's chip around 400 times.
Yes, indeed. I get all of that VIP, man. But but what you got for this show, man? What you got for this one? Because we ain't gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
No. I bring that. This is why I'm bringing this up, because I don't want Ken Norton coming in for just a Rooney Rule with that pump fake. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. If you really want somebody to have a job and they qualify for a job, it shouldn't matter what color of skin they are. So that's why I was bringing that up.
Oh, well, so I think that here's my truth with this. I think Dan Quinn respect Ken Norton too much to just bring him in for that. You know what I'm saying? If he see his name out there, it'll be genuine. He wouldn't do that dude like that. He wouldn't do Ken Norton like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
But we just brought somebody in.
Who?
Didn't we just bring the brother in for the OC job, knowing that we already had somebody in the bag for the OC job? Right. I'm talking about.
Right. So it was the inverse with. Let's go all the way back then, since you're on it a little bit. We go all the way back to Joe Witt Jr., right, when he was hired here as the defensive back coach. Originally, he was interviewed for the DC coordinator job, right? But when we look at everything, I still, regardless of hue of skin, I would still want my guy Dan Quinn over him to this degree, because I know for sure that my guy don't have all of the growing pains that you would have to go through in order to see him grow. Now, the whole situation and scenario far as Sean Lee versus Ken Norton, I think that Sean Lee, even though Sean Lee knows the game like the back of his hand, I think that there will still be some growing pains for him to be a linebackers coach.
But there lies my point, Law, though. Mm-hmm. How? It's just like when you get out of college and they tell you you're not qualified because you don't have enough what, Law? What do they tell you? You don't have enough what?
Yeah, you got enough experience.
Okay.
Right.
How do you get experience if you don't get, if you're not put in that position, Law? So that's why I don't like the Rooney Rule. I think it's a pump fake. It's actually a slap in the face.
Right.
To me, that's how I look at it. But to go on to my Cowboys, I'm not going to get too emotionally tied for that, because you know we can go on for days for that. What I want to see us draft is somebody with a high catch radius. We see our quarterback has semi-struggles with the little windows. Can I get somebody that either you're going to get away from the quarterback or you have a high catch radius? That's all he needs, bro.
Well, that's why I said Jonathan Mingo. You know what I'm saying? I like that dude, man.
Yes.
Now, Quentin Johnson, he going to be gone way before we get a chance to even look at him. But I want some sleepers, man. I like Jonathan Mingo. I like what he brings to the table as far as dog nasty. Rasheed Rice, about to say Rasheed Wallace. But Rasheed Rice, he's another guy that's like 6'3.5". They got that good catch radius. Cedric Tillman, I do like what he brings to the table as well. But my personal sleeper right now is Jonathan Mingo. I know people like Marvin Mims, but give me that Mims. Mims. Yeah. Mims is pretty good. But give me Mingo, man, and we'll go see what he can do. And the other kid that we got from Ole Miss last season, I think he's on the practice squad. What's his name? Brandon.
Oh yeah, he's from Ole Miss. Brandon. He was like a trumpet type. I forgot his name.
Yeah, y'all help me out. What's Brandon's name? Oh my gosh, his last name is at the tip of my tongue. But y'all know what I'm saying, though. Bring them boys in. Ole Miss, yeah. Number 11. Yeah. You know, that's all I remember his number was at Ole Miss. But 19.
But anyway, I just want to see, Law, an off season. I want Turn Up to get in the weight room
Dontario
And I
Drummond.
want to
Yeah,
see
no,
him
I'm
on
sorry,
some
not
nine
Brandon.
routes.
Dontario Drummond. You know.
Yeah.
God, dog. Thank you,
Drummond,
landlord. Woo! You got me off the hook on that one, man. I said Brandon Dontario Drummond. That's his name. Drummond, not Brandon.
That's his name.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I just
and
want to see
Mingo
my
is
boy
from
turn up
Brandon,
in the weight room,
Mississippi.
man.
Mingo is from Brandon, Mississippi. That's where the Brandon come from. But go ahead, bro.
But yeah, I just want to see turn up in the weight room this year. 'Cause I want to see him in the offseason practicing with Dak on 9. I don't believe. Obviously, we know this is what we ignored for years. We suffered from identity crisis. We didn't have an identity on offense. So we're like chameleons because any identity we picked up a different identity to suit the next team or the next defense instead of you going in with the confidence like, this is my identity. We're going to make you change and adjust to us. Yeah. Instead, we will adjust to other teams when it comes to offense. So that's what I'm hoping and I'm praying that Brian, and I see his MO. He has that MO where he's like, look, I'm gonna run this ball down your throat, or I'm gonna kill you with these passes, and it's gonna be misdirections. It's not gonna be where you and I were cornerbacks. They will run. I watched our 5 losses, bro. I can sit on some of them damn comebacks. We know you're running comeback.
No doubt,
you're running 9
yes,
comebacks.
Indeed.
Those are the only routes we run.
I appreciate you, my dog, man. Let people know where they can find and follow you, man, since you're doing content now.
Oh, Law, you already know what it is. You can follow me on the gram. That's LOVEYXL860. Law, you know what it is. Law, I even got some love for Brandon. Brandon sounds like he been drinking some of the Dak I feel better juice. So I'm going to leave this guy alone in the offseason and let you know that we're all in this together, Cowboy Nation. There's no need to end fight. We're all in this together. Dak is my quarterback. He's your quarterback. So let's stop the infighting and let's build around him. Build around Parson and build around Dak. All right, that's all I got to say. How about them Cowboys? I ain't a killer, but don't push me, Law.
No doubt. That's my guy, not MJ, but my God, LaVey, you know what I'm saying? That's my guy, VIP. Coach Marv says trade idea. Tyron Smith in a 3rd round pick to the Saints for Michael Thomas. For Michael Thomas, a 4th round pick. I think the Saints may want to move on from Thomas. Organically, I think they're going to have to force to move on from him. I think they are like $60 million in the hole as far as cap relief for what they're going to have to generate. So organically, they're going to do some cuts or what have you. I would sit back and wait. I would not trade Tyron Smith away for that. I'll hold on to Tyron Smith. I think that he did a good, remarkable job for us at right tackle. Is he long in the tooth? Yes. But it's a short, long tooth. He's only 32 years of age. I think that even Zach Martin is older than Tyron Smith, right? So I just look at it, whereas I know he's been an injury situation. But if I'm trading a guy, I'm greedy. I want to get something like Washington got from Trent Williams. You know, I bet you they would love to have Trent Williams back, right? Who was considered an injury guy, what have you, went over to the 49ers land, and now Washington love to have Trent Williams back, right? I think that that's the situation there. So, and Thomas, hurt for hurt, right? Hurt for hurt. D-Hop ain't worth the first or a second. This is from Jay Lombardi. Sometimes we're going to have to wait on some of those moves. Like, I know the relationship with Brandon Cooks. It's not up to snuff, right? With the Texans. I know that, right? And I know D-Hop wanting out. So sometimes in the situation, we have to sit back and wait, unfortunately. The only people I'm trading for, if they're a little bit younger, then I'll make that move like a Jerry Jeudy or something like that. 1 second.
days, nothing really is. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinking, she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Hit the door and the doorman just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things with your pockets dull. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble cause the hate and the jealousy. My mama telling me count up your
Thomas, you're live from the 505.
Yes, Law Nation. I'm wanting to get your thoughts on this, whoever else is. And I know it's going to be a bit controversial, but really, this is what I'm thinking. If I got to play GM for a day with Dallas, what I would do is go to Dak Prescott and offer him to tear up this current deal, and I would offer him a 2-year deal, $80 million fully guaranteed. Okay? And my reason for that would be we got 2 clear models, I think, on the table for getting to and winning the Super Bowl. And I think they're right in front of us right now in the Super Bowl. You have the Mahomes model and you have the Hurts model. Mahomes is you got a quarterback taking up $40+ million of your cap, right? You put a few nice pieces around him, Kelsey, Chris Jones, and then a bunch of other decent guys that you drafted, right? That quarterback took you to the Super Bowl with that because he's that elite. And then you have the Hurts model where you got a quarterback on a rookie deal and you put a boatload of talent around him, right? And then they're in the Super Bowl. So that's Dallas's path going forward. You have to say, is Dak Mahomes? If he's not, then you got to move on. And in these 2 years, that will allow you with what you have on the table to go try to win a championship, okay? And then because you have basically coming up, you got Micah, okay? You got CD, you got Diggs, and the bottom line is you can't keep all those guys and pay Dak $40, $50 million a year.
Right.
So you have to make a decision and say, if Dak isn't Mahomes, and I think he showed us this, and that's not throwing any shade at Dak.
Right.
Dak's an excellent quarterback. He's just not that model for Mahomes that's going to get you there. So you have to start being honest with yourself and say, he's not that. Now, he can go somewhere else, but he's going to command $50 million a year.
Let me ask you this, though, and those are some brilliant points there. There's 32 teams in the National Football League. How many are Mahomes?
Maybe 3, 4 at the best.
And who may they be?
And I'm saying maybe, okay?
Yeah.
It's debatable, but I can't say definitively. But I would say Burrow could be that. And he's fortunate right now because Burrow's still on his rookie deal. And then you got Chase on his rookie deal. So he has a lot of talent, but that's getting ready to change real fast. Okay?
Real fast. And that's why Burrow did throw 2 interceptions in his last game, right? 1 touchdown.
Yes.
And I know one you can argue it was just like a punt giveaway, what have you. So 1 interception, and he's one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. And it's 2 arguments to that, right? Because if those 2 interceptions never occur, we could be talking about let's do the Cincinnati model, right? Because paying a quarterback $500 million is not working. 2 years back to back, he got put out by the same team. And
exactly.
When I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they were able to capitalize off of those 2 interceptions and turn it into gold, and they won that game. But they also paid $60 million for a D-tackle, Chris Jones, who was remarkable in that game. I think that Chris Jones is very, very, very nice. I look at this team, the Cowboys. I think that the Jones family is going to consider what you're saying, but not to the extent of paying them more money. After this year, they got 2 things they can do. They can extend Dak Prescott, right? They lower the cap money down to minimum, and they can put more and more weapons around him and say, okay, let's do this thing, as you said with Jalen Hurts, right? Let's put more and more weapons around Dak. They can do that, literally. Or they can say, you know what? we'll bite the bullet. We'll bite the bullet because his guaranteed money is gone next year, right? You don't have that much guaranteed money next season. Is that correct? And not give him no weapons.
Million.
Yeah. You can start eating it from here, and that's just how that goes from here. So I don't know what the Jones family gonna do just to be 1,000 with you, Thomas. I don't know what they're gonna do. but
with that cap hit, you can't take that cap hit next year at $49 million because that's what the hit is. So, but for Dak, it's only $33 million of guaranteed money. So I guess the point I'm making is you can't do a Jalen Hurts model with Dak going forward because Dak ain't no dummy. He ain't gonna take. So Dak ain't taking less than $45 million a year going forward because he can get that.
Let me ask you this. Did Dak Prescott did play on the franchise tag before, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, he did.
And how much was that?
Back then, I think I don't know. Was it?
It was 30. It was 30. That's a cap hit. See, we got to look at it from that angle. Like, that was your time there. Like, the Cowboys literally could have freed up if we had some more playmakers in 2019. Are we a +1 game at least? Because we went 8-8 that year. Is that a game that you get into the playoffs? Who knows what could happen, depending on the kind of caliber of playmaker you go out there and grab. Now, from the Cowboys' perspective, they're going to look at it from the 4-ladder and the 3-ladder network. Hey, the Cowboys had a lot of weapons in 2019. That's how they're gonna spin it. But we had a washed up. What's the guy named Randall Cobb, right? And we had Big Tay, who came back from 18 to 19 to be that guy. And we had pretty much a second-year wide receiver, and then we had Amari Cooper. So from the outside looking in, people are going to say, hey, man, there's weapons. But we should have been emptying the bucket that year, right?
I agree. But now you got to ask the question, what do you do now? Because Micah's getting ready to hit probably $30 million. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so you got Micah, you got Diggs, you got to make a decision on. You got CD, you have to make a decision on. Mm-hmm. So that you can't do the Jalen Hurts model with Dak and all those guys. There's just not enough money to do that. So that's why I'm saying you got like a 2-year window, and if you can lower Dak's cap hit, like if you offer him $80 million fully guaranteed over the next 2 years, you drop his 2023 cap hit to what, $40 million? Okay, so you save about $9 million on the cap there, and you try to basically get it done in that 2-year window. But once you gotta sign Micah, you gotta sign Diggs, you gotta sign CD, you cannot have Dak on that same roster. Okay, so either if you're gonna keep Dak and let those guys walk, or you're gonna basically let Dak walk and keep those guys. That's the decision you have to make. And I say, well, you got to keep those guys because I know, with all due respect to Dak, he ain't Mahomes. And you're right, a lot of people aren't. But it doesn't matter what other teams do. It's like those are the clear model.
Let me ask you this. If let's say you the 49ers guy, right? Let's say you him. And let's say Brock Purdy didn't get injured in that game because he's going to have a reconstructed elbow now or arm. They drafted Trey, right, with the first-round draft pick. Who would have been their starting quarterback for the 2023 year?
Well, I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, Purdy would definitely be the leader of that. But either way, they're both on rookie deals. So you're still good, right? You're
still good. Relatively, yeah, you are. So that's how swing of a quarterbacks are. Like, coming out of college, Trey is collectively, from a scouting per se, and I'm not saying that these are tangible information, but from a scouting perspective, Trey is a better quarterback than Pat Mahomes coming out of college, right? Because he's drafted earlier and the scouts and things like that, his ability. But we know that he's not, right? So it's so hard to find a quarterback to fit your team, but other teams that figure it out. So I would be with the belief. Go ahead, talk to me.
Is it easier? Are you closer to Dak being Mahomes, right? And will he ever be? Or are you closer to getting a Jalen Hurts or a Purdy out of the draft? Okay, I say I can find another Jalen Hurts and definitely a Brock Purdy out of the draft. I mean, he's the last guy taken in the draft. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. And I know the Eagles fans going to really love this. Is Dak closer to Jalen Hurts or is Dak closer to Pat Mahomes?
I say he's closer to Hurts, but
right.
He's going to cost you $45 million.
He's going to cost you. Yeah,
that's the whole. No, I mean, if Dak was going to play for some, $20, $25 million a year, then we're not even having a discussion. But he's no dummy. He ain't going to do that.
So that's why he's going to tell them no.
45, 50 million.
That's why he's going to tell them no when they say, "Hey, man, let me sign you for a 2-year deal." He's going to tell them no.
$80 million though, 2 years, $80 million guaranteed. That would mean in the last 4 years, Dak got about $200 million in his bank account.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty damn good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, but they're going to have to. All right, so if that's going to be the way they extend him, though, right? Because they can't, because his money, they're going to have to extend them. See, so now we back in the same mixing pot with Dak. If the Cowboys do sign to a 2-year deal because he got voidable years at the end of his contract, then I think we're talking about the same thing. You extend him and stretch it out,
but no more than 2 years, because I know after 2 years I can't afford him at that number along with Micah, Diggs, CD, and these boys. That's what I'm saying. So I know I can't extend Dak more than 2 years, because if he insists on me extending him more than 2 years, then I'm going to bite the bullet on that $50 million hit next year, and I'm going to let him walk, because I know I can't have him and Micah, Diggs, and CD on the same team. Okay, there's no way. You don't have that much cap room to do that.
Yeah.
And even at the same time, you have to let guys like D-Law, you got to let him walk. Okay, Zeke, he's got to go, because you got to start clearing cap space now, and you got young boys behind them that are ready to go. Right, as well as D-Law played this year, I can't take him at that cap hit.
Right, but here's the craziest thing, though. Here's the craziest thing, though. Remember, they said the same thing about Dak when they didn't want to pay him $28 to $32 million because they said that they got to pay D-Law. So now we still got D-Law as a crux. How valuable was D-Law for these last 3 or 4 years now? But I feel what you're saying, man. Great points. You're bringing up some good stuff, Thomas. I really appreciate you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Good call from Thomas. Real good call from him. The 2-year thing and the way we look at Dak Prescott and his contract and his future contracts or what have you. I think that if the Cowboys do decide to extend him for 2 years, I think that would have been the route that they wanted to go anyhow, right? They wanted to sign Dak Prescott originally for a 6 or 7 year contract, right? Is that correct? Right. But it's one of those things, whereas it's a mess. It's a mess. Cowboys technically got the upper hand on Parsons a little bit because they got the 5th-year option, right? But when you are as of the caliber of a Parsons, you don't want to let it get to the 5th-year option. That means that there's something ain't going right with him. And they got 2 guys that they trying to figure out too, and that is CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs. Those 2 guys, you got to figure out, do you go ahead and extend one or the other? And one can argue, if you hold each other side by side, you would say that CeeDee Lamb been better than Trayvon Diggs in these last few years. Right? So which way you go? Or you can play mean ball again and say, okay, CD, we got 5th-year option for you, and unfortunately we don't have it for Trayvon Diggs, but we're going to use the money to extend Diggs first, and then we'll circle back to you, But there's so many ways we can look at that. But that's the price of doing business. She's your queen to be. From the 910 Queen Cowboy, you're live.
You love.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I can't complain.
my fellow Aquarian. My birthday Thursday.
Oh, your birthday. Happy birthday to you, lady. Shoot.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're
Yep,
finna be Thursday, just in case if I don't, be live on Thursday. Appreciate you,
Yeah. I appreciate you too. I just have a couple of things, and it's probably just really one thing. It's in reference to Dak. It's like people have been sleeping under a rock since Dak has been in the league. Because if you think about it, the adversities that he's had to deal with the years that he has been with the Cowboys, I mean, every time you turn around, they're talking about what he needs to get paid and what he's been paid and what he's not doing.
Right.
All this other kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He had Jason Garrett. How many years did he have Jason Garrett?
5 years, I believe. 5. Yeah. Shoot. 4 years, 4.5 years.
So we already know what the deal is with Jason Garrett and what he has to deal with Dak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he played exceptionally well on a few of those years, considering. And also, then you turn around, and then the next person he's got to deal with is Kellen Moore. Hello, even though we went 12-5 for 2 years straight, he still had to deal with this dude bipolarism. Going from running, especially this year, calling the game good with what's his name, Cooper Rush. For all those games until he got to Philadelphia and he decided he wanted to give Cooper Rush Pat Mahomes' arm, which he does not have. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why we ended up losing that first game in Philadelphia, because he wanted to pass the ball all over the place. But anyway, with Cooper Rush. But anyway, and then he comes back and he changed the whole game plan from what he was doing with Cooper Rush, which worked. You know what I'm saying? And then they changed it, and he's throwing the ball all over the place instead of, doing what worked previously. So he's had to deal with a lot between the broken thumb, the broken ankle, and all this other kind of stuff. Dak is worth what he's getting paid. Like you said, he got franchise tags when he shouldn't have been. They had opportunity to pay him less. They chose not to. That's their fault, and they have to suffer for that. Dak should not lower his expectations for his pay because Jerry Jones and them decide they don't want to do what they need to do to make this team what it should be, which is America's team, which is the best team, because they got the money, they know what to do to make things happen, but they choose not to. Like all those people we could have picked up, that those other people picked up in free agency, and Jerry Jones decided he want to get rid of Coop. Lord have mercy. And then not pick up anybody with the money. They can't tell me that they did all they could do with that money that they had left over. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of these people with this Dak stuff. Now watch, if we win the Super Bowl within this year or next year, this coming year or the next year, they all gonna be on their knees at Dak Prescott knees with their mouth wide open, talking about how great he is. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say. How about them Cowboys? Let them hang, Cowboy Nation.
Yes,
and I'll talk to you later, Law.
Yes, indeed. That's Queen Cowboys right there, man. She's a passionate person, man, and her birthday will be this Thursday. So y'all keep reminding me. But like she said,
Lao Tzu says, "Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestation."
That's Samuel, man. We are our own enemies, man, with this. We talk about the money, right? We talk about the expectations of said money. I've literally, granted, there's truths in there. There's truths in there. And I know he's a comedian. And he said the same thing, basically. Because here's what people are only going to pick up. The Tom Brady part of it. But they missing out on the other two boys, right? Let's listen to what he had to say.
You see how they dog out Prescott after his loss, but they didn't dog out Brady after his loss?
That's true.
Have you noticed that?
That's true.
Not only did Brady lose, The other boy from Buffalo lost, and Justin Herbert lost. At the beginning of the year, that's who they picked to be the shit. They lost. Nobody talks shit about it. Dak lost. Dak lost is the end of the world. Ain't nobody said this in main media. They can't say it because they'll get fired. Motherfucker like Tom Brady, you are supposed to poke at him now. He's washed up. He's allowed to play because of what he used to be. It's not fair.
All right, so there's truth in every joke, and I get it. I get it. Tom Brady got multiple rings, but they do not excuse the other two guys. And if you go back and read the comments, that's all they talk about. Hey, Brady got rings. But what about Allen, right? And then I heard people say, well, Allen was in his third year and blah, 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 and he made it this far, et cetera, et cetera. Those are excuses, basically. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because if it was our team, they'd say, hey, Law, stop with the excuses. I never seen anybody give longitude and latitude to 4 over here. Because now they say, okay, we supposed to give him this heat because he's in his 7th year. And I'm thinking like, dog, I was here the first year. Yeah, I was here the 2nd year. I was here the 3rd year. And you guys still gave the same heat. Your scrap metal of criticism still was the same. So regardless of whether or not what year it is, they still gave the same heat. So I don't see Allen getting the same heat. I don't see Justin Herbert getting the same heat. Now, granted, I get it. They don't play for the Dallas Cowboys. I get all of that. But we can't win the game of who's going to get heat or not, because at the end of the day, we're going to be held to a higher standard. I said this in my opening statement, that yes, Peyton Manning is better than Dak Prescott, but he also had better weapons. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark, a stabilized offensive line, not someone playing musical chairs with the offensive line. He went from a Hall of Famer, Marshall Faulk, to another Hall of Famer, Edgerrin James. Right? But I get what people are saying, that he is better. But yes, he had better host of weapons too. And he's better. So how much more can I say? What else y'all want from me? You know what I mean? What else y'all want? Yes, he's better. But Marvin Harrison is better. Reggie Wayne is better. I digress. I got from the 904, Darrell, you're live.
Hey, Lo, how you doing, sir? How was your weekend?
Oh, man, well, man, it was my birthday weekend. I went to Perry Steakhouse. It was great, man. It was great, man. It was one of those good things, man.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, when I get out there to Dallas, man, we're gonna have to toast one up for you, man.
Hey,
we're gonna grab a big ball and we're gonna do this darn thing.
Hey, we're going to have a big party this weekend, too. We're going to be watching the Super Bowl, so we're going to have a big party at the Network Bar. So if you know anybody, if y'all in the Dallas area, come on down and come see us, man, down at the Network Bar on Sunday, you know.
All right, that was up, man. I sure would, but I'll probably...
next year, man, next year. Yeah, but what you got for this episode, man?
I think Kansas City might pull this thing out.
True. Yeah.
I think they will. Because everybody's really on Philadelphia with their run game. And I think Kansas City has the right personnel on defense to actually stop that run game.
No doubt.
Because they're going to really have to put it in the arms of Jalen Hurts, and I just don't see Jalen Hurts doing his thing like that. Because, it all comes down to experience, and that's what it's pretty much going to boil down to. Because Mahomes been there before, so he know what it takes, and especially Andy Reid. So both of them, that's where most of the experience gonna come in at.
Right.
It's gonna be more experience than it is somebody unknown.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what Nick Sirianni is until he actually wins the big one. So but then they was playing a weak schedule anyway, which that got them that best record. But we're gonna see how they're gonna be next year when they play a first place schedule. So it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Because, Dallas played the first place schedule this year. Mm-hmm. And we still end up being the same record that it was last year. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. But as far as, with the Dak situation, I'm like the rest of them. They should have been signed Dak back when I could think when Zeke went and did that holdout, and he went to Cabo.
Right.
And I think Pollard was a rookie that year. I told some of the Cowboy fans, I would say, let Zeke stay in Cabo, let's play Pollard and see what we got. And then we're going ahead and pay Dak. Because then you would have had a chance to pay Dak 6 years, which would have been about the first year he probably would have got maybe like 25, 27 mil. Then the next year he'll get up about 30, 32. But then he'll have that guaranteed money as well. But you still have 6, maybe about 4 years with an option on the fifth year.
Yeah.
So you're already paying him.
I think that this is where they made that mistake at is pretty much franchise tagging your quarterback. You know, you don't do that. There should be a strike against that because it shows your hand that there's not a level of trust within the organization of your quarterback.
They did it once, they did it twice.
They did it twice, yeah, and then they rescinded and they gave him a long-term deal or what have you. Well, no, he played on it and he got hurt. Then they decided to pay him. You know, that's back-to-back years of eating
because they can't do it no more after 2 years after the second time. So
right?
They have to make a decision.
Don't you know what? This is the craziest thing. They had $94 million in free cap space money in 2019. By you franchise tagging him, a third of that money is gone, right? You can't prorate it, you can't spread it out. And they decided to re-up, of course, some other players on the team. Everybody got paid before Dak Prescott. And this is not like, hey, I wanted Dak Prescott to get his money and blah, 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 and I'm team Dak Prescott. But I'm looking at the overall consensus of everything is just trade the man. Just trade him then. You know, he was at his all-time height. You could have got 2 first-round draft picks, or you could have let him test and open up and see what he would have gotten on the open market. But you know why they didn't do that? Because of these numbers right here. Let me pull up PFF, and I'm going to show everybody these numbers in 2019. And then they fooled around and waited, and Goff got paid and Wentz got paid. And then that's just how it goes.
And then you got to remember, too, Law, that they had that pandemic year, which that dropped that thing down 18%.
It dropped 18%.
So that really hurted them.
So if I did a blind resume, right? And if I did a blind resume, because people don't like these numbers because it's Dak, right? But if I do a blind resume and put it out throughout the world, everybody say, shoot, give me that. He had 4,901 yards, 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. I don't think that there's a person on this planet to say, well, those numbers are trash. You know what I'm saying? And in that year, it was a garbage time stat because that phrase wasn't invented in 2019. The phrase got invented in 2020. So that's what happened. They looked at the numbers, and you get paid, regardless of what people say, you get paid by your stats, not by your wins and loss records, unfortunately, you know.
And also, they're dependent on the position. Because, you know, that quarterback market, man, it's really off the charts.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Because somebody's going to end up getting a $300 million contract as a QB real soon. I'm thinking like right around 2025 or 26 season.
Well, just to be fair, Deshaun Watson contract is better than Pat Mahomes. If you really contextualize it, shoot.
Because his whole salary is guaranteed.
Yeah.
There's not going to be another one like that, Law.
I mean, when you look at Kyler Murray's contract, shoot, that joker up there, man. I'm not trying to count these boys' money, but I think that his guarantees are just as much as up there. And now everybody's trying to climb themselves to get to that money number. So now if you're Lamar Jackson, you're looking at it like, shoot, from his perspective, he's better than Pat Mahomes and Kyler Murray from Lamar Jackson mindset. So he's like, hey, I'm MVP, man, with a run-first offense, etc. You know what I'm saying? With less weapons. He didn't have a Tyreek Hill. He didn't have an Andy Reid over there. So Lamar Jackson is literally saying, well, I want that money.
Right. And he deserves it.
Yeah. So it's hard to do that. You know?
I just really don't see how Baltimore's going to pull this out because it's going to be really, really hard.
But you know what?
No doubt.
Let Jalen Hurts get a Super Bowl under his title. He's gonna say, "Hey, we beat the best." You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, he's
want Pat Mahomes money. You know what I mean? And you think those ladies gonna sit back and say, "Hey, we gonna take second tier"? No, they're gonna want the money. So at some point you got to pay the piper. That's just how it goes. But the moment you say, that's when they move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I know what Jerry Jones like to do. He like to get this top-notch talent for a cheap bargain.
Right.
If you pay for something cheap, you're gonna get what you pay for.
You're gonna get what you pay for. Yep.
And he's been like that for years, and he's thinking like, this is not easy for anybody to try to do, because like then you got to start worrying about when Parsons gonna get paid. You got Diggs that's coming up in line. Then even that other cornerback that got injured.
Oh yeah,
I can't even think his name. Number 2.
Are you talking about Jordan Lewis? What are you talking about?
There you go, Jordan Lewis.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's a good slot corner.
Good slot, yeah.
You got these players that's still gonna come up with what their contracts do.
Yeah. I mean,
and then, especially with Diggs, when he already got 2 Pro Bowls under his belt.
Diggs gonna want Denzel Ward's money.
Yeah,
he's gonna want Denzel Ward. Y'all look up Denzel Ward.
Debating on Diggs because he's been making too many business decisions instead of just going out and playing ball.
Yeah,
he's making way too many business decisions.
Diggs is going to play Diggs ball, man. I truly believe.
Yeah, he just had to ball out because we might just give him that 5th-year option. It's okay.
Well, he don't qualify for the 5th.
Up and shut up.
He don't qualify for the 5th-year option because he's a 2nd-round draft pick. Only the 1st-round draft picks.
Oh dang!
So
he mashed then.
He gonna want Ward's money or Marshawn Lattimore's money. He's gonna want top tier. That's just how it goes, man.
Right.
I appreciate you for calling in, Daryl.
Hey, no problem, no. You take it easy, man.
No.
Hey, DC forever, man.
Yes, indeed. Not for short, man. That's what I'm talking about. Good call for the 904. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Lao Tzu says, free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestation.
Yeah, they both got $100 million law. Yeah. My guy, John from Riverside, man. Riverside John, man, what's good, man?
Riverside, what's up, Law?
Nothing to achieve, man. What's on your mental?
Hey, man, I need to talk to you real quick, man, about an important situation that y'all got going on these last 2 weeks, man.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about, man, you calling me for some bail money, man. You trying to get some money on your books or something. What you got, man?
So, look, I hear y'all, and this is, I got a beef with you, Law.
Talk to me, man.
You know?
You line up, man. You're on the list, man. I got a lot of people on the list, man. Go ahead.
So, look, man, you keep flip-flopping, bro. Like, when after that Niners game, you had a whole bunch to say about Dak Prescott.
I did.
But now you keep throwing stats at us, and like you sound like you defending them now, and I really don't get how you can defend Dak Prescott in any kind of way. Like you make you and a lot of other Cowboy fans, y'all make us feel like we crazy because we want to try out a new quarterback or see about a trade, or we're exhausted and stuff like that. And for me, I don't think that's fair.
Well, let me interject. Now let me interject. Let me interject before you go to another point. Hold on. Let me interject before you go to another point. All right. So when you say hold on. When you say flip-flop, what do you mean with when I say that Dak Prescott, hear me out. You got to let me finish my stance on this. On 2nd and 2, he had no business throwing that ball. He should have ran the ball on that. I blame him for that play. Didn't I say that over and over again? Yes or no?
But
Hold on.
You did, but what are you saying
Hold
now?
on. Hold on. Yes or no?
You did. You did.
Okay. Now, here's my point. Here's my point on that. Even though he shouldn't have thrown that ball, should that been the play also? Because there's two sides to it. Should that been the play called?
No, but that don't mean
that's
nothing.
That's my
that
whole
does not
point.
mean nothing, Law.
That's my
Law,
whole point. That's my stance. Go ahead.
Because I don't want to cut you off.
No,
but look,
go ahead.
man, he's a quarterback. He changes any other play when he feels like he can read the defense. I didn't see Dak Prescott go to the line of scrimmage and change the play.
Right.
If he felt that he wasn't comfortable or something like that, then he should have changed the play, but he didn't.
He did.
Dak Prescott lost. Dak Prescott, if y'all don't want to admit it or not, he lost us that game against the Niners.
Okay.
We can just put that out there right now.
That,
it don't matter.
hold on. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn again. I literally said that, yes, he lost the game. But there's nothing we can do about it now because you can't move on from him because you still got the money. I don't think that we are willing to eat $89 million worth of dead cap money right now. If you get rid of him, you can't do that. There's no rational reasoning to get rid of him because you're going to have to eat that $89 million. So what I was saying is, how do we make Dak Prescott better?
Why can't you entertain stuff though?
Huh?
Why can't we entertain any other conversations that surrounding his contract that might end up in a trade or hell, even get drafting a quarterback maybe in the second or third round that could light some fire up under his ass.
Now, John, I did say I'm with the belief that you draft the quarterback every year. So with that being said, that is true. Two things can be true. Do you have kids, John?
I got 2 kids.
2 kids. Okay. So if you preparing food for them and you put a gun and a knife on the table, is that good parenting?
No, both of them is not good for him.
Both of them not good for him. So you say, hey, the option to throw that ball there, it wasn't good for Dak Prescott, nor the play design was good for Dak Prescott. I'm trying to present an offensive coordinator to not have the gun and the knife on the table. And that is by getting rid of Kellen Moore. So now I got to evaluate Dak Prescott from this day forward. I can't put toothpaste back in the tube. I can't go back in and say, hey, let's not have that play design out there. So that's how I look at it. I get it. We all want to be better. We want to win the Super Bowl. But there's nothing I can do from Dak Prescott for right now because of the contract. And he got a no-trade clause. So I can't talk about, hey, let's trade Dak Prescott. That's not this type of channel, unfortunately.
Okay, well, hey, you see, this is what I don't get though, because when any other position on that team, like let's just say Anthony Brown or somebody that's just playing terrible, I will hear you get on this same channel and say, hey man, we need to go get somebody else and move on from them if they're not playing right. I believe that you should keep that same energy when it comes to our quarterback.
Okay.
Because you giving them grace right now, but at the end of the day, this man been here 7 years.
All right, so that is a good point. That's a good point. And go ahead. But I got to say this though.
Okay.
Anthony Brown don't have a no trade clause on his contract, nor is he going to cost the team $80 million of dead money. If we had $80 million tied up in dead money with him and a no trade clause on him, I would literally say, all right, at this point, we're going to have to figure out a way to build around Anthony Brown, unfortunately. That's just the reality of it. Anthony Brown, he don't have literally a contract left. I'm not banging on the table bringing him back. So that would be the same thing. On a free market, how many days will Anthony Brown be out there on the free market?
I don't think I think somebody would take the same day.
Same day. So on an opening day, Dak Prescott on the free market, how many days will he be out there on the market?
I think somebody would get him out maybe the same day.
And what would be his price?
You tell me, Law.
It will be. And what do they pay players off based off of their stats? Not their win-loss record. He's going to get his market value. He's going to get paid $40 to $45 million on the open market.
And he is getting paid that right
And he's
now.
getting paid that right now. So that's how the market works.
Yeah.
That's how, unfortunately, I can't help it. You know, that's just what it is. So we arguing against the market. I don't think that Dak Prescott on the open market will render $25 million or $30 million. I get it. People are in their feelings about it, but he's going to get what the market rate is. That's just how the market works.
Okay. Let me insert this.
Talk to me.
Dak Prescott, I believe, bro, y'all got to chill out with these numbers and these stats and trying to compare him to any other quarterback and what would be this and what would be that. The only quarterback that was on that field on the Niners, Josh Allen didn't play against the Niners this year in the divisional round. Dak Prescott did. We only have one quarterback that's starting for this team, and that's Dak Prescott.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I stopped comparing him to any other quarterback, trying to make it seem like, Dak is getting the wrong end of the sticks when it comes to fans and the world and stuff like that, bro. His stats didn't get us these 7 years of his stats didn't get us nowhere. If I were you, it'd be hard kind of to defend the man if you ask me. What are you defending? You have nothing to show
or am I actually hold on, John? Am I actually defending him? Am I actually defending him, or I'm just pointing out the facts? Two things can be true, by the way.
But what are you defending though? What has he done to defend anything? He hasn't done anything to defend anything. 7 years of what? He's come up short for 7 years. So why are we putting out stats comparing him to Peyton Manning and all these other quarterbacks when this man hasn't done anything?
Well, let me ask you this: in the first 7 years, what have Peyton Manning done then? In his first 7 years, that's what I was saying.
Peyton Manning.
In his first 7 years, and that's my point exactly. So when people say, "Hey, wait a minute," so it's okay for someone to say, "Okay, Aaron Rodgers would have," right? If Aaron Rodgers would have been on this team, we would have won XYZ games, right? But in the last 2 years, we put up more points against the 49ers than Aaron Rodgers did when he had better weapons too. He only put up 10 points against the 49ers. So in the last 2 years, we put up more points with a less caliber quarterback than what Aaron Rodgers did. In the last 2 years, he didn't put up more than 10 points against the 49ers. Yes or no? Yes or no?
I don't think that's fair.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So it's cool to have excuses for him, but it's not cool for me to have excuses for my team, allegedly.
No. Let me finish. Like I said, I don't think these stats and stuff like that is fair across the board. You're comparing apples to oranges.
So hold on. So why didn't Aaron Rodgers? Hold on. Why didn't Aaron Rodgers put up more than 10 points against the same defense that the 49ers had against us?
What is that saying? What does
that say? What are we talking about?
Is that a got you moment or something? I don't understand.
Is it facts or fiction?
At the end of the day,
are we talking facts or are we talking fiction?
I only want to state the facts.
And what is the fact? And what is the fact is then this team put up more
Aaron
points.
Rodgers got a Super Bowl.
And how long ago that was?
He got one on his ring. He got one on his finger. That's all that matters. It can be. We still talk about the 5 that we got. So does Rob Johnson. So does Joe Flacco got a ring. So does Eli Manning. So we want to bring them on the tape too. I want us to stop spitting these stats and stuff as if
you want us to stop spit. You want us to stop spitting facts.
It can be facts, but where has the facts gotten us? Nowhere. We got to the divisional round and lost to Memphis.
Hold on, John. Were we better than what we were last year? Yes or no?
Better than what we were last year. You asking these questions like it's saying much. It's not really saying much, Lord.
It is.
Yeah,
yes, we were better than what we were last year, right? Were we better than what we were 12 years ago?
Is that the bar? Is that what we?
No, the bar is ultimately winning the Super Bowl, right? Yes or no?
That's where I'm getting at.
So how do we know if we don't continue to go over things line by line and say, okay, in order for this team to be better this season, let's present the facts. Okay, a stop route is not a good route. An option route is not a good route. Let's bring in some continuity. Let's stop mixing oil and water. That's what I'm saying. That's the goal of this show, is to bring in some things to help this team out. Now, I can say these are the options for this team. It don't mean a hill of beans if they don't do it. Jerry Jones is not listening to me and saying, okay, I'm gonna bring in a DK Metcalf because Law Nation said so. But I'm for dog sure know that DK Metcalf will better this team better than what we had out of a Noah Brown. Better than what we had out of not Amari Cooper, but yeah, if you add Amari Cooper, it still would be a better team, but better than Michael Gallup coming back from an ACL surgery. Those are facts. Those are not just lies that I'm sitting out here saying.
No, they're not lies, but at the same time,
well, why you get mad at the truth? Why you get mad at the truth? John, what you want me to say is the Cowboys doomed. We gonna be trash because we got Dak, right? That's what you want me to say? We should bend over and let the other teams rape us, right? That's what you saying, John?
Now, did I say that, or you just not saying that out of your mouth?
Nah, that's what you implying. Because you don't want to know the truth.
Give me a chance and make my comment, and then we can go from there. What I said was that Dak Prescott needs to be, we need to evaluate him and talk about him in a way where we could entertain the fact that, we could trade him or
you can't trade it because there's no trade clause.
Okay, we could draft another quarterback.
John, how tall are you, John?
But don't sit here.
No, John. How tall are you, John?
I'm 6 feet.
You're 6 feet. Can I ask for you to be 6'5"? Can I ask for you to be 6'10"? No, you 6 foot. There's nothing you can do that can improve that. There's nothing we can do right now to improve Dak outside of getting better weapons around him. We can sit back and be miserable by the fact that that you're 6 foot, but there's nothing you can do about that, John. You can buy taller shoes that only help marginally.
You can't do nothing about Dak Prescott drafting another quarterback. Seeing about that, you can't do nothing about that.
And what round would you draft another quarterback right now?
Hell, he's a number 4. He's a 4th round draft pick.
So all right. So let's say the Cowboys keep Kellen Moore because Dak Prescott is the fault, right? Is the issue. So what you want us to do with the 26 picks is to draft the quarterback, right? That would be the solution, and to bench the quarterback. And you want us to have these type of conversations. You want me to go live and say, okay, let's bench the 80. Let's take the cap money and push it to the side. Don't worry about that. And let's just go into this draft. You may get the same results because it's been 7 years. We haven't done anything.
You don't want to be saying, it's funny because you don't want to be saying, oh, draft another quarterback every year. Name
the quarterback. Yeah, you're supposed to draft a quarterback every year. I'm with that belief. You draft a quarterback every year if you're feeling froggy about your quarterback. You draft one every year.
And you're not feeling froggy about Dak Prescott?
I didn't I just say you draft a quarterback every year? What else you want? What else you want me to say?
I want you to be honest about what he has done and what he looks like. This man is inconsistent on a week in and week out basis. That needs to be elevated. That needs to be the forefront. He's the leader of our team. You can put anybody around him, but what has he done? He hasn't done nothing with.
And what have the Cowboys done in the last 30 years? Have he been here for the last 30 years?
No, but he's damn.
And what are the results? What are the results in the last 30 years?
Lord, that man, we should be in the NFC champion. We should have been in the NFC championship game.
And then what was the excuses of why we haven't made it back-to-back playoff in the last 2 years, in the last 3 years, in the last 4 years before that? What was those excuses?
I seen Dak beat the Eagles this year. Okay? Then he plays down to lesser opponents, bro. Like, what are you talking? This is not science, bro. It's what you see and how you see it, bro. Like,
and what we see and how we see what we see and what and have that been the same situation for the last 15 years? Yes or no? Have that? No. So we've been in the playoff every year in the last 15 years.
No, but you talking about Tony Romo, right?
And are we having the same situations? Look, yes or no? Are we having the same situation that we had when Tony Romo was here? Yes or no? Yes or no? Sure. So what are we talking about?
What does that do?
So what do you want me to do? I can't change that.
Yeah, but don't go so hard for somebody because
who I'm going hard for.
You going hard for Dak.
Did you know that I went hard for Tony Romo? Did you know I went hard for Romo? I went harder for Romo. Do I have to call my brother to verify that?
If you went harder for, it's like we accept mediocrity, bro. Like, what are we doing? If you went hard for Tony Romo, you damn sure didn't have a reason to. Just like Dak.
So hold on. So you don't see. So hold on, man. So you don't think that there would have been a Super Bowl in there if we got rid of Jason Garrett and had a better coaching staff around Romo? Come on, man. I said that Romo would have had at least one Super Bowl if we'd have kept Parcells for longer than what he had been here. See, those are the problems, okay. Those are the problems, fam. Those are the same problems. We've been having issues from above. As above, so below. Look, I just played earlier today that the dude, Jerry Jones, said he's happy being in the middle. He said he could empty the bucket if he wanted to. But the last time he emptied the bucket, it wasn't even really an empty of the bucket. We went and got Brandon Carr. You see what I'm saying?
Jerry Jones said that?
He said it with his mouth. I played it. So
yeah, and he also looked to the left and told Dak Prescott, man, you got me on this deal, man. I gave you that money, man, but you got me, man.
And then what did me and the other caller said? If they wanted to move on from Dak, they should have done it then. They should have got it done then. They could have got rid of him then. We had $94 million of cap space, fam.
Yeah, and they cut Dez Bryant. If you feel like somebody ain't doing good enough for you, obviously they feel that Dak is good enough. But as a fan, as a diehard, I don't see it.
No, you ain't dying hard, dog. You dying soft over here. You laid out right now. You dying out. You dying soft right now. What's our record gonna be next? What's our record gonna be next year?
Y'all not the gatekeeper.
Hold on. What our record? Dog. What's our record gonna be next year then? Are we going to the playoffs?
I hope we get to the Super Bowl. I do hope that, but I really doubt it.
And so do 31 other teams, fam. I appreciate you for calling in. Boy, you made my day today. What was your reality? What was your reality? You thought for sure we was gonna win the Super Bowl this year with Noah Brown and Michael Gallup coming back from ACL surgery, with Dak Prescott with Dak Prescott running as quarterback, with Kellen Moore. You thought we were gonna win the Super Bowl, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, we beat Philly earlier in the year, Law.
Right,
and
right.
Why we couldn't beat Mr. Irrelevant?
All right.
You got to talk to Dak Prescott about
that. Okay. All right. So you just as delusional as I am. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Nah, you tripping. You know, that's just what it is. Come on. So when the reality meets the expectations, y'all get mad. But when Law Nation was banging on the table saying that, hey, we need more and more weapons, we need more and more opportunities, y'all look at me like I'm the fool. Y'all look at me like, hey, DK Metcalf, y'all said from y'all mouth, we don't need DK Metcalf. We going to win the Super Bowl with James Washington. And then when the expectations meet the reality and those things don't hit, now I'm the fool. Okay, all right, cool. Lokes, you live. You Luke.
Yo, good afternoon, Law Nation, man. Yo, I don't know what is it with these Cowboy fans. Like, yes, we all want to go to the Super Bowl, Law.
Right.
Did I expect us to go to the Super Bowl with Kellen Moore?
Yeah, we had the expectation. Yeah.
No.
No. I'm saying you had the expectations of it, but the reality of it is also you got to go out there and get playmakers. There's no way that we win Super Bowls without Emmitt Smith in the 90s.
Exactly. And the only thing I can do fault over the Cowboys is they keep missing opportunities to, easy opportunities. Yes, if we would have beat the 49ers, we would have had a better chance to go to the Super Bowl this year because, we dominate the Eagles, correct? But did we get that done? No, because we always put something over it. It's either going to be our play calling, our coaches, our players. It's something's always missing, Law. We can never get a full recipe for success. It's like something's always missing of an ingredient when it comes to the Cowboys. And my thing is, we don't have to change Dak. Dak is a good quarterback. We can win with Dak. My thing is, when are we going to put the, what is that word? Continuity. Basically, like a game plan where we're like, all right, Dak, we know where you excel at. We know where you don't excel at. We don't want you to play hero ball, but like let's run this ball, let's play some play action, and let's limit these turnovers. What happens? We make Dak try to play hero ball, and then this comes out to bite our what. So it's like I don't know. I feel like if we were to come out with the right philosophy, in a year, just in a year, Law, I think we can go way further than we can go far. It's just we haven't put the pieces together. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Now,
yeah.
Not necessarily now, but it is time to look for options to move on from that. Now we are tied where we are tied up. We are tied with his cap. We are tied where, basically his contract. But I mean, like you said, Law, what quarterback is not getting paid that? So what can we do to basically manage what we have this window open right now? So I feel, and I'll do it. My final thing is this: any team can be improved with the offseason. And I hate to.
I know you better go. Yeah.
But look at those damn Eagles, damn it. You think they were sitting back at Jalen Hurts looking at, all right, Jalen, we're going to make you pass 30 times a game. We're going to leave you with these wide receiver core that you had last year. We're not going to change our philosophy. We're going to keep running the same plays.
My goodness.
They changed that entirely. And the thing, and what's something that kept what's the main strength about the Eagles? Their trenches. That kept the offensive line and D-line together intact for all these.
Hey, man, your phone went out. But I appreciate you. That's my
run
guy.
The ball and just be able to attack the quarterback.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for calling in.
Peace out, Law.
Yes, indeed. Good call from my guy, Lokes. Y'all get what I'm saying. Look, and I'm going to say this. You guys got selective hearing at the all-time high. Two things can be true. But with the belief that, hey, we're going to be able to win with less is more, when you get down to the Final Four, shoo, everything got to be on point. And we literally, it don't matter. It don't matter how much I can tell y'all that water is wet, it's always going to be somebody say, no, it's dry, Law, until you touch it. It's dry, Law, until you touch it. And that's the problem with what you guys, it doesn't matter how much I stress out. Man, we went out there and got James Washington. And then we literally seen the Eagles go out there and get a Zach Pascal. And they said, which would be equivalent to a James Washington. And they said, you know what, that's not enough for the quarterback. They went 9-8 the previous season. And I hate giving praises to these Eagles and what they did in the front office. But they are in the Super Bowl now without their quarterback throwing one single touchdown. One single touchdown. He haven't thrown a single touchdown. Why? Because it's a team sport. But if they were to sit back and rest on their laurels and said, hey, we drafted this quarterback and we're going to put everything on him and we're going to keep Jalen Reagor and we're going to keep the other dude and let him know that, hey, he was a first-round draft pick and all of the onus is going to be on him. And they paid Dallas Goedert and the other guy, Smitty, Devontae Smith. And they say since we draft him in the first round, he should give us first-round stuff. No, they went out there and gave more and more weapons and more opportunities for their team to be where they are at right now. That's just how it is. There's no way around it. They probably don't be where they at if they didn't make those moves. Ain't that right, JP from the 971, man? You live. JP. We'll circle back. Rush, you live. And I'm going to lock the phone lines.
Hey, Law, how you doing?
Hold on right quick. Let me lock these lines right quick. Hold on, Rush. Hold on. Let me lock.
The conference has been
I'll
locked.
be here all day. Rush, you live from the 843.
How you doing, Law? How y'all doing out there in the Cowboy world?
Doing good.
All right. I just want to touch on a couple things I heard VIP talk about earlier. And
Right.
he said that we need to get some receivers that have a good catching radius. I think we need to get receivers that can separate.
Yeah.
That would be our best form of attack, because whenever you got separation, you got all the radius in the world, baby, to catch the ball. You got all the radius in the world to catch the ball.
No, man. That's just excuses, man. Michael Gallup, although he was ranked 114th in the National Football League for our separation, and Noah Brown 137th ranked, you know what I mean? That's just excuses, man. Those boys were getting open.
And you think they was getting open?
They was getting open, man, according to y'all that was in the chat, according to my guy Riverside. You know what I'm saying? They're getting separation, dog, We had enough weapons, man. We could have won Super Bowls, man, with those boys, man.
I'm not falling for that. Hey, dog, I'm not falling for that one.
No, they are, man. They were getting separation. The quarterback just needed to hit them, man, better,
Nah, man. I'm like this, Law. I'm not a Dak protector, nor am I was a Romo protector. I just want a good quarterback to just do his job. I've been rooting for every quarterback we've had from the 1970s up until now, Law. That's how long I've been. I was born in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been around for a while, and I've seen quarterbacks come and I've seen quarterbacks go.
Yeah.
I've never hated one of our quarterbacks. Not one.
Yeah.
I've always rooted for the team.
Hey, turn your radio down, fam. I can hear reverb. Turn me down or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now without the reverb. Go ahead.
Okay. I've never hated a quarterback or a receiver or any guy on the Cowboys team. I've always been team oriented, and I don't understand how people are so divisive, saying that it's one man's fault whenever it's a team game. That's what I just cannot figure out, why we are like that.
Man, it's how it goes, man. The quarterback gonna get all of the blame, and I feel what people are saying. It would be a different story. It would be a different story if he didn't have the guarantees money, if he wasn't locked in. I would be like, hey, let's shop the man. Let's see what we can get, at least salvage this thing. Even though, I think that he got some good skill sets. But we can't. You can't get rid of the whole car just because he got a flat, right? So what John and the other Riverside John, what they want to do is they want to get rid of the whole entire car. You still making payments on the car, dog. You're gonna have to fix that doggone flat and keep it moving.
Hey, John wanted you to just outright say out of your mouth that Dak wasn't no good. That's all he wanted to hear from you, so he can validate whatever the things he had on the side with somebody else. He just wanted you to come out of your mouth and say that Dak is not the man. I hate it for that guy that he feels like that.
Right.
But you have your content that you present, and your feelings about each and every one of the players that's on the team.
Right.
That's your opinion. You should be free to say that, and not have somebody, as that caller, drag you through that situation. I wanted to just argue with him for you to get him off the phone, but
no, you know how it goes. Those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. and there's no changing of the mind. Like I said, we've been having the same issues before I got here, right? It would have been a different story if these issues arrived all of a sudden, like bam, we never had this before, right? But it's been the same issues that we've been having on this team since '95, and pretty much we had the issues in '94, '95. It's just the fact that we had a team that learned enough from the previous coach to overcome. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much for calling in.
No doubt.
No.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them, baby? You know, but that's Rush right there. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, you still making payments on this car, and you want to, hey, we got this flat, man, and keep having a flat. Let's just get rid of the whole car. You still making payments, and it's nobody that's willing to trade with you because the car got a no trade clause on it. You can't trade it in. You just gonna have to fix that tire, put a new tire on there, and see what you can do with it. Or you could have literally said, you know what, we're going to keep the same brands of tires on this car, which would have been Kellen Moore, and roll it back again. But if I'm Mike McCarthy, shoot, let me just try a whole new brand of tires, because the same flat is keep happening. And let's not go down this road again. It's too much construction going on down this road. I can't make a better analogy than that. And if you guys waiting on the line, let me know if you guys can come up with one better. 254, you're live.
Hey,
Talk
my
to
bad.
me.
I was
No,
taking
you
T
good.
first. I'm sorry, man. What's up, Mark? Man, just a couple points, man. Honestly, man, Dak to me is top 5 quarterback the New Orleans left. Skill-wise, I know he had a bad year, but anybody that's living life knows you got ups and downs. So. But this year, I mean, if you ever played Madden and done an option route, I know a lot of people ain't never played quarterback.
Lord.
When you do an option route, you get to that breaking point, you go either go left or go right. There was at least, I want to say, 3 or 4 interceptions he had this year that wasn't his fault. I know you can't take them back, but if he were to take them back, his interceptions would have been in the same numbers as Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people want to get rid of him, but I mean, if you think about it, when we get rid of him and get a first-year quarterback to come in here and we upset him about his 7 years, it could be another 12. We have to go through a whole other draft. Versus
Right.
we getting there, and we so close.
Yep. You spin some good stuff, man. The biggest impediment of this team are those things, right? Evaluating talent. It's about making sure that you got the right pieces together. And when you have different philosophies, you get those things, man. Hey, I got a lot of reverb from here, man. I got a lot of reverb from you, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Man, you're killing me.
It was them beats still, man. My bad.
Talk to me, man.
But that's why I say that the Eagles, like you said, don't like giving them props. But if you reverse the script when we get AJ Brown and they force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 40 to 50 times a game, we would be in the Super Bowl as well. I like what they did. So
Yeah.
like I said, we're going in the good direction. I feel like a couple more pieces offensively, a couple more weapons that we get a simplified offense. I feel like that Jalen Tolbert and Monte Turpin could be more effective in. We ain't no way to go but up.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you for calling in.
No problem, man. How about them Cowboys, man?
How about them, man? I feel what people said. Well, Cooper, look, Dak delusional. He said, well, with those wide receivers, we didn't have a problem with Cooper Rush. I would like for you, I encourage you to look back at those games from a different view, right? That Rams game that even we won, there were some chances and opportunities that our defense were able to score. Then when we were stagnant with our offense, man, Tony Pollard made some crazy good plays. And I'm not discounting Cooper Rush. I think the world of Cooper Rush. I think that the Cowboys should re-sign him for a free agent situation. But on an open market, if Dak Prescott was on the market openly, because right now Cooper Rush is a free agent. He's free agent at the end of this year. How many days will he be out there on the market? And we'll find out, But even with that being said, The Cowboys' overall ranking offense was 27th and 29th in the league. We would have to be the 85 Bears the entire year in order for us to win all of the games with Cooper Rush. And I'm not discounting this team collectively. I'm not saying that we couldn't have been the 85 Bears, but realistically, we were not going to be the 85 Bears. We haven't won one game with Cooper Rush when the opposing team scored more than 20 points. So granted, I get with what y'all saying. And I would love the worst thing that happened to us with this Cooper Rush thing, hear me out, is that we didn't sign that man to a multiple year contract and that he is a free agent. If we were to sign him to a multiple year contract, we would have been able to parlay him for some draft picks. The same thing that the Green Bay Packers did with Matt Flynn. Who remember Matt Flynn? Show of hands, who remember Matt Flynn? Right? For the Green Bay, I think that's his name. They was able to get something out of him, but they knew that he wasn't better than Aaron Rodgers or better than Brett Favre at that time or whoever. But they wanted to be able to get something back in return. And those are things that we don't benefit from being a Cowboys team. We don't see down the line. Matt Flynn got paid in Seattle, yeah. And what was the other guy? But what was the return, the results for it, right? The Green Bay Packers got some picks out of it. What was the other team that did the same thing? The Patriots. I think it was another Matt Castle, went 11-5. And they parlayed it. They said, all right, cool. They didn't sign Matt Castle to a long-term contract. Going 11-5, but they said, shoot, we're going to get something in return. Y'all remember that? To the Chiefs. And they got multiple things of return. We don't do that here in Cowboys land. And those are not lies. And for those who say, hey, Law, you're just making excuses, those are facts that you guys don't want to hear. Oh, my gosh, man. All right, I got 210, I got Swayze, I got 469, and then I got the 803. And then Spot, can you save me? We're going to try to roll with these guys and get on up out of here. 210, you in?
Yeah, Law, I want people, can you hear me?
Yep.
I want people to realize a few different things because you have operating components in what happened with the Cowboys. The first thing is Jerry Jones built a legacy off of the success of Jimmy Johnson.
My goodness, yeah.
The second thing is you have fans being unrealistic and not realizing that success and championship are different things. I mean, we've been successful as a team in a lot of different ways. We just haven't been a championship team. Okay. The third thing is when you look at how the team is built, how you utilize the pieces that we have.
Yeah.
We come up with some genius ideas as fans, but Jerry Jones, when you don't want to spend the money, you understand what I'm saying, Lo?
Right.
When you have cheaper or less combatant administrators in position or coaches that you don't want to question you, this is the result.
Bring it.
I mean, you just have to be realistic. The fans are right, but until you have someone in office, you know, that's at the Cowboys headquarters that makes decisions based purely on football.
Right.
Money aside, friendship aside, hypothetical scenarios aside, this is what you get, Lo.
Yeah. And I think that they buy in to the fact that, okay, they listen to they echo the 4-letter, the 3-letter networks over and over again, right? And they don't contextualize it that even for I'm not gonna say it took 30 years, but the greatest coach of all time, one of the greatest coaches of all time for the Cowboys, he only had 2 rings in 30 years. You see what I'm saying? and that is Tom Landry, right? And then what we are expecting also out of this particular coaching staff, Mike McCarthy, is to do things that he couldn't do, and nor do things that even Jimmy Johnson couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, can I add to that?
Go ahead. Go
We
into
didn't
it.
have the Herschel Walker. We didn't have the Herschel Walker trade that gave us multiple first round picks to build a team off of.
Break it down.
We don't have that anymore.
Right.
You know, now we don't have a coach that's straight football. You know, we have coaches that, you know, get up there and it sounds good. Let me get my check until they run me out of a job. You know, and that's what we've had. It's been a cycle. And
Right.
that's what I mean when I say that Jerry Jones has lived off of the actual success of the Herschel Walker trade, which made him a championship team, and Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
Him himself making decisions, he has not been successful beyond playoff appearances.
Let me say this too. Let me add this in for a pour the salt down the wound. What's your name, by the way? Let me store you in here.
Oh, I'm Christopher Jones.
Chris Jones. Let me see. You know, you got a good game. You got to play good this weekend now, man. Hell State.
Yeah.
Hell State. You know. All right. So here's my thoughts on this too, Chris. Is that not only Jerry Jones living off of the skins of Jimmy Johnson, shoot, he tried to go back in there and pick up Herschel Walker again, you know. Yeah, a lot of Cowboy fans don't remember that. They went back and said, hey, Herschel Walker, come on back.
Yeah. I mean, it's the money. It's like, and I'm not trying to switch sports, but let's look at the Mavericks.
Yeah.
When it affects your pocket, like when you have, let's say, Michael Parsons decided to say, if you don't make this team better, I want to be traded. You know, that affects their money.
Right.
Until you affects the overall outcome of business, Jerry Jones is billions and billions of reasons why he's not listening to anything we're saying.
Right. You're right. And nothing we can say to change his mind. He's almost got a reprobated mind. He got a mind like those who convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
And one thing I wanted, not to cut you off, Law.
Go ahead. No,
okay, for all the Dak haters, Dak, you have to put a player in position to be successful. They knew what Dak was coming out. Dak was a quarterback that can get you first downs and throw the ball. He was never Aaron Rodgers. He was never the golden boy that'll kill you with his arm. He was a quarterback that can make good decisions and get you some first downs. It's not his responsibility to live up to some type of superficial thought of what a quarterback is supposed to be. They knew what he was when he came out of college. With a running back, that's why I put in a text talking about Bijan Robinson. I think that's what Jerry's trying to do. He's trying to take some of the responsibility away from Dak with a high-powered running back, whether it's Bijan or someone else. And people will be surprised if you put Dak in a position to not have to win you a game with his arm, but win you a game with his football knowledge and ability to control the game. Dak will be a Super Bowl quarterback. That's what you got in Philadelphia. He don't throw the ball down the field like a John Madden football game on a PlayStation. They run the ball. They don't turn the ball over. They play defense. If you can tell me that Philadelphia, with the quarterback they had, went to the Super Bowl, no one should be calling you talking about Dak.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for your perspective, Chris, man. And you have a good one, man. I thank you for calling in, fam.
All right, good show. Thanks, Law.
That's a good call from him, man. Good call from him. I just want you guys to understand that. Look, I was a fan of this team before Dak Prescott was born, right? Long before Jerry Jones bought the team. I get with what y'all are saying, but there's nothing I can do. And I refuse to just complain about the tire that's flat versus trying to fix the car and put a different tire, new set on there. Now, we can have the old adage saying, hey, Law, we did change out the tires before, right? But we got a tire that was unknown, an unknown commodity. That's what it was with Kellen Moore. We had no notion of what he would really do. He had no experiences. We didn't know whether or not that tire would be run flat, can grip on water, or none of that stuff. We just said, okay, we'll hope. We will hope that this will work out. In 7 years, this team had only one losing season. In 7 years. And the only time that losing season occurred was when? When did that losing season occur? When the starting quarterback went down. So what we supposed to do, right? Be mad about all of this? Granted, the expectation is Super Bowl. But when I'm getting into a fight with Mike Tyson, my expectation, I want to win. But if it's blow for blow using my hands, 9 times out of 10, it ain't happening, Jack. It's going to be something along the lines of this. Law, man, shoot, man, Mike Tyson killed that dude. You know what I mean? But give me a chance in a situation to get a knife or a gun. That's all I'm saying, man. Shoot. I know the limitations of that. I've been saying it for the last 7 years. Year one, I was saying he's a one-read quarterback. He don't go through his progression. That was out of his scouting report. I still got the video up. I kid you guys not. I want you guys to go look at the first episode of last season. We was out there at the event brought to you by Cowboys Experience. Me and Boss Cowboy Sports got into it. I said that Dak Prescott wasn't elite. He was saying that Dak Prescott was elite. I said that Dak Prescott is right above average. I said that. Lost Nation said that. I didn't say he was elite. I said he's that area above average. But what y'all like to do, y'all want me to say that he's trash and garbage. And I'm not going to say that. And I got Lady Jessica pissed off at me right now for saying that Dak Prescott not elite. And she said, I can't stand you, Law, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Y'all remember that? She's mad at me. So I get it either way, left or right. But what I'm saying is you put weapons around him and shoot. Watch that dude eat. I seen this dude put 455 yards up against the Eagles. I seen this man just beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 1 of the playoffs. Granted, yes, it was against a 45-year-old man, but the Buccaneers defense was top 10 in the National Football League. But all of a sudden, just because I don't say the things that y'all want to hear, he's an apologist. I met with Dak Prescott's father. I heard the things that the front office had to say about his son and how they really feel about this organization and franchise. So I know the weight is what's against him. But y'all like to take stories from TMZ and the 4-ladder and the 3-ladder network. Oh, man, Dak Prescott played so horrible that his girlfriend dumped him. His girlfriend, they've been not talking all this season. But y'all like to take stuff and run with it and roll out there and say, hey, I know it all. When were y'all at training camp? How do y'all see the other players interact around that dude? Come on, y'all. What other quarterback? They paid their money, and then the owner said, you know what, we overspent, we overpaid. Can you imagine if the owner came out and said that against Kyler Murray? They paid more money for him than Dak Prescott. Swayze from the 908, you're live.
Hey, it's Swayze, you know what I'm saying? Like the objective Cowboy fan here. How's it going, Law?
No, everything is great. Everything is great.
I see you went viral a couple of times, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter, like, you know what I mean, doing your thing, you know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
To be honest with you, we should save this argument for next year. I mean, I'm already past this argument. It's February now. I'm on to the combine. I'm going to see who we can get. Like the Dak Prescott argument, even though I do agree that he will never lead us to a Super Bowl, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, we should still try to, go along with the season and try to give him the best possible weapons he can find. Starting with Bijan Robinson from Texas, you know what I'm saying? Moving up in the draft, maybe getting Bijan Robinson, getting a actually good running back, not a has-been running back who's been washed up for about 3 years, but nobody wanted to say it. But, yeah, so, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're 100% right. It's been 30 years.
Right.
We've been seeing the same thing. It's not a Dak Prescott problem per se. Dak Prescott is just a symptom of what the disease is.
Right,
so
right. I love how you say that too. I love how you say that.
So the reason why Dak Prescott people are mad at Dak Prescott, they're not actually mad at Dak Prescott. Like for instance, if we won 1 or 2 Super Bowls in the past 15 years, I think most people would be okay with Dak Prescott. You feel what I'm saying? Like kind of like Panthers fans is okay with Jake Delhomme and all of them. Like he's above average who can be good around a nice decent amount of weapons. But Dak Prescott, he exemplifies the middle. You kind of get what I'm saying? He exemplifies just average, like the way he plays, his skill set. And I think people are just mad that we are just settling for Dak Prescott and haven't had an elite quarterback in almost 30 years. You kind of get what I'm saying? That goes along with Tony Romo. I mean, I felt that. I remember I used to defend Tony Romo all the time. And as I got older and I became an adult, I realized that was just the Jerry Jones salesperson getting me to defend Tony Romo. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if you don't defend Tony Romo, you're not really a Cowboys fan. But it's not really. It's like sometimes as a Cowboys fan, we have to be honest with ourselves and realize who we have. And the more ways we are honest with ourselves, the more ways we could come together as a fan base. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, we can't be delusional.
Here's the thing, Swayze.
And we can't call them great. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. When the Cowboys, when we look at everything, like Parsons is great. I've seen people say, well, why Parsons talking all that noise and they haven't won in 30 years, right? Well, Parsons don't understand that.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Parsons, his 2 years here had nothing to do with 30 years. Every year he been on his team, we been to the playoffs. And actually we improved 1 year to the next. I think that this past playoff game, he played better this playoff game than he played last playoff game. So those are improvements. 100%. So my thing is, the problem is with this organization is that they can see something out of something and not build around it. I think that Parsons would be even better if we put a big defensive tackle inside, right? Or if we get another nice cornerback, you know what I mean? They can be on the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs and keep playing inside the middle there. So there are ways that you can plan and build to make this team better. But you shouldn't only look at it from the prism of, hey, man, it's Dak Prescott or bust. No, that's not the case nor the scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. In a logical way of thinking, the quarterback is not do or bust, right? You need a coaching, you need a defense, you need an offensive line, you need a wide receiver. But I think people look at this team, right, and this team is not, the way this team runs itself as an organization isn't logical. So people look at the team as illogical. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, so the point I'm trying to make is, right, we know that we're never getting an elite head coach. That's impossible. You know, that would never happen. We know that in terms of willing and dealing, Stephen Jones is probably the worst person when it comes to trades.
Right.
That's untold secret. Right. He's probably one of the worst person when it comes to trades. That's probably why he don't want to make trades, because he's scared of himself at making a worse trade. So when you know that and you know it's impossible for us to get these decent weapons, the only thing you could blame at this point that's a realistic chance of changing is the quarterback. You kind of get what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Can't change the GM. Can't change the way the head coaches run. Only thing you could change is the quarterback. So Dak Prescott is going to fall heap to that. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, like, at this point. Like, you can't change people's minds.
What we've seen, what we've seen out of the quarterbacks in the last 15 to 20 years were the 97, the 98, Troy Aikman. I think that we still had a good enough team in 97 and 98. And you know how far back I'm going now, but even Troy Aikman, one of our better quarterbacks that played for the Cowboys team, had warts. There were people saying, hey, man, Troy's a shell of himself. But why was that possible? Because of the organization being ran down. It goes back to my guy, Rush, who was on the call earlier. He said, man, we're living off of the skins of Jimmy Johnson. And then what happened here collectively, the Mandela effect hits, and everybody only think of the 93, the 92, the 93, the 94, the 95, 96 Troy Aikman. They don't look at the 97, the 98, the 2000, and 2001 Troy Aikman. They don't see that Troy Aikman. They only see the successful Troy Aikman. Whereas Law, I don't forget, and I'm telling y'all, hey, you still need stuff. You still need quality coaching. It's a give-take type of league. But I appreciate you.
Nah, you're 100% right. I can ask a question though.
Go ahead.
Are you going to do like the combine coverage? Like, are you going to go deep in the combine coverage, or are you going to like chill out this year?
No. We're going to do the deep in the combine deal. I'm about 7 players deep on the DB side and about 6 players deep on the wide receiver side right now. My sleeper, as far as the DB, is a guy from the U. His name is Tyreek Stevensons. I think that he will be remarkable in this type of scheme. He's 6'1", right at 205 pounds. He's a physical DB, plays good with leverage. Also, he can shield and ward off on play boundary technique. Spectacular. I would love, and he's not afraid to hit. By the way, he come down and feel. I like him, and that's where I'm at right now. He's my sleeper.
And also, Keenan Allen could be a cap casualty for the Chargers. Look out for that. That's one of those veteran wide receivers who people put him as a Pro Bowl wide receiver. So we definitely got to look out. I mean, the number one priority is to get weapons around Dak Prescott and see what we can do this year. Like, we got to sell out. Look at the Dallas Mavericks. They sold out, got Kyrie Irving. Like, try to do the same. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Dallas Mavericks, man. Yeah. My Lakers should have got him, but I feel you, man. Appreciate you, Weezy. Good call from him, man. I got mad at that, Kyrie going over to the Mavs, but shout out to the Mavs of what they gonna do. Luka got him a guy right next to him, but Kyrie should have went to the Lakers. The Lakers should have pulled the trigger on that, but that's a whole nother storyline for a whole nother day and channel. But from the 469, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Law Nation, man? I just want to let you know, bro, you be speaking the real. A lot of these people can't handle it. For real. You know what I mean? A lot of these people can't handle it because the truth of the matter is that we lost this season way back in the offseason. I knew this a long time ago.
Yeah.
When I was watching what the Eagles was doing in the offseason, I was watching what Howie Roseman was doing compared to Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones.
Yep.
It's not. It wasn't even fair. It's like they took these dudes in the house and whooped them like they was they kids. It was embarrassing.
It was terrible. Yeah.
I mean, we the only team in the league that's losing great players, replacing them with veteran minimum players, and thinking we gonna get better.
Yep.
How is that possible? You get what you pay for. And then people talk about the situation with Amari Cooper. Oh, he's getting paid too much. Amari Cooper has the 10th or 11th highest salary as a wide receiver in the league. That's about where he should be.
Yep. And then he came out on record saying that he was willing to take another pay cut. But go ahead.
That's unbelievable. Like, how do we let him go for a 5th round draft pick, and Hollywood Brown went for a 1st? How does that happen?
Man, come on, man.
Let Randy Gregory walk for nothing. A guy that we've been hoping, wishing, and praying that he turns out to be everything that we hope he'd be. He been getting into trouble, this, that, the third. He finally got it together, reached his full potential, and we let him walk for nothing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that they leaning on the compensatory picks now. I think we get, a 3rd or a 4th round. I don't think we probably get that, but we're going to get something back in return. And that's how the Cowboys think. They love to lean on the draft. And those issues compound itself into what we are. We are a team that's the bloodline is the draft, because you can always sell the draft. because everybody's we can look back at the storylines and say, okay, we had this guy to do this guy to do that, and everyone is undefeated when you start talking about the draft.
That's true. That's absolutely true. But we value the draft way too much.
We do.
How many you could draft as many players as you want. You probably gonna hit on maybe like 3, maybe 4. The guy possibly maybe 2 of them may become a good starter. 1 of them may be a great player. But we're sitting here acting like Jalen Tolbert was gonna come in and be a Mark Cooper, like James Washington was gonna come in and just completely replace his production.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense. How does that make sense? Especially when you're watching. The last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, almost every team in the division has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Except for the Washington Commanders. And Philly on the verge of winning the second one, and the Giants have won 2 since.
No, it goes. That's how the cookie crumble, man. It's a difficult situation, fam.
The real season is in the off season.
Yep,
that's the real season.
I appreciate you for calling in, fam. I thank you. Good call.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
No doubt, man. You win during the off season. I got Kai and I got Spock. Boy, how long I've been live, man? I ain't gonna give y'all a long show tomorrow, man. Well, we're gonna have to do 2 shows tomorrow because we got the final word, and then we got the me and West Coast. I ain't doing this no more, man. I'm gonna just start hanging up. We've been live for too long, man. I'm gonna have a timer set for 1 hour. Y'all lucky I don't have to be at work today. 3 hours, God dog, man. All right, Kai from the 803, man. You live.
What's going on, Law? We running you thin, huh?
Man, look, my belly touching my back. I'm gonna have to go grab me something to eat. Look, it don't matter what I say. We are in the negative season because we are watching a foe go to the Super Bowl, right? Who we know that they don't give us no grace and mercy. Those Eagles fans, they ain't here now talking all type of noise. And then, of course, Kansas City Chiefs, you know how that go. But go ahead, man. Talk to me, man.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll make it real quick for you because I know you're trying to head up out of here. But I just wanted to speak on a couple calls ago. I think it's John Guy who was speaking on content creators and others.
Riverside, yeah, John Riverside.
Not speaking on like Dak trade or Dak being cut and et cetera. And I just want to point out the reason because a lot of these serious shows like yours, Boss, Big Game James, Sky, like all those guys are grounded in reality. You guys are serious shows. You aren't going to talk about things that aren't possibilities, like $89 million in dead cap, no trade clause. There's no even a discussion about it.
Yeah.
So everybody that's like on Dak's side just got to get over it and just stomach what's about to happen because the next best thing that could have happened was changing who's in Dak's ear.
Yeah.
You got to give the Joneses credit for that, at least, whether it's scapegoatish or however you feel. They're doing something. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, you're changing it up this time. So you got to go in with some sense of optimism. Not saying that it's going to happen, but you just have to accept the fact that the Joneses done something. Let's see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that if you're mad about not seeing no videos about Dak being traded or whatever the case may be, it is what it is. If you do see videos like that, those guys aren't serious content creators.
Those are fantasy shows. Right.
Yeah. Those are make-believe Madden Ultimate Team shows. Like I'm a grown man. I'm 27. I'm not coming into any of these shows trying to play make-believe.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to hear a real in-depth analysis.
Right.
So that's just all I had to say for people who are still stuck on this Dak need to be traded, Dak need to be cut, et cetera. It's not going to happen. Get over it. Let's see how this new OC and Mike McCarthy calling the plays are.
Right.
So I'm going to let you go.
Oh, shoot, man. Appreciate you, Kai. Thank you, man, from the 803, man. I got no rebuttal to that. Those shows do good numbers, man. Hey, breaking news, Dak Prescott traded for 3 blah, blah, blah draft picks or blah, blah, blah. I get it, right? Spoof shows are good, but I'm looking for solutions. I know that, hey, this is the limitations of where you got with Dak Prescott. There's nothing more you can do. Just like when John Riverside, I got to say Riverside because I got another John that followed this channel, and we paid tickets for him to get to the game and these sorts, so I don't want to get mixed up. But Riverside John, right? There's nothing he can do. He's 6 foot. I can't make him be a center, right? I can't put him on an O-line, you know what I'm saying, if he's 190 pounds. Because the reality of it is this is what it is. He's not capable of doing such. But what I can do is find out what his strengths are and placate to that. And that is what the whole issue is with Dak Prescott. We literally looked at Dak Prescott and say, okay, if we're gonna pay him $40 million, we need for him to be Pat Mahomes. We need for him to be a Joe Burrow. But he got paid before Joe Burrow got into the league. But that was the argument, that he needed to be a doggone Aaron Rodgers. And it goes back to when we pay guys, we based off of what other people are doing versus what can they do, right? The whole notion of DeMarcus Lawrence, when it was time for him to get paid, the front office said, hey, we would like to pay the man, but he ain't Khalil Mack. So what you think that make that man feel? And Khalil Mack not even Khalil Mack now, right? So the craziest thing is the way we operate, the way we handle the business. It's like a mom and pop store. They're not going to fire their son. The pops leave the store unlocked. They're not going to can him. Everything's stolen out of it. Well, who left the door unlocked? Oh, father left the door unlocked. All right, well, we'll write it off on an insurance claim. But if it was Joe Blow, who they hired, left the door unlocked, he's fired. He's gone. So those are the things that we're up against, right? Anybody else, any other general manager, if they would have did the same things the Cowboys done, whether it's good or bad, they would have been on the chopping block. And a third of the Eagles fans will not admit it, but they were ready to get rid of Howie Roseman. That's why they had the apology tour. That's why they had flags and stuff saying, hey, we apologize, Howie. There's a video out there, right? They're ready to axe him. But it's something about when your back is against the wall and he know that that's the only place that he can put food on the table, that he's willing to let him hang, is what my lady says, Queen, let him hang. Burrows haven't done Jay SoCal, you're right. Let's go with Spock. Can you save me? From the 562.
Yo, Spock. Good afternoon, brother. What's up?
Nothing to achieve, man. Talk to me, man.
Hey, I got like 4 points I want to run through real quick.
Go ahead.
You just brought up something that's really interesting. You were talking about the GMing, right, of the team,
Right.
and how they F up, and there's
Right.
no consequences to them effing up, right?
No.
Well, what happened to the Titans GM who traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles for a first pick this year?
I don't even know.
He got fired. He got fired for trading A.J. Brown
Wow.
to the Eagles. And guess what happened to the Cowboys general manager for trading Amari Cooper for a fifth to the Cleveland Browns? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
You understand?
All right.
He's done that. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good.
I'm not gonna come out hurt. These idiots don't understand. There are no consequences for the Joneses.
Right.
You trade them, A.J. Brown, from the Titans to the effing Eagles. He got fired, like in week 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
After A.J. went off on the Giants, that's when he got fired.
Right.
And we traded Amari Cooper for a effing fifth and nothing. And they're still trying to, it's a good pick. Oh, yeah, we're going to do this. No. You guys got to stop backing these Joneses. And, okay, so that's one point. And you brought that up. So I'm sorry, brother.
No, you good. You good.
But, so the other thing is people are mad at Dak. It seems like it's kind of weird. People are mad at Dak for 27 years of ineptitude.
Right.
When the only thing that has changed that hasn't changed in 27 years. The only thing that hasn't changed is the ownership, the president, and the GMing. Even the stadium is in a different spot. The grounds, the stadium, the building is in a different spot. You're mad at Dak for 30 years. And I get it. Like, I'm pissed too. Right. I'm not mad at Dak for that.
Right.
That's them. That's the ownership, the GMing. Just like we talked about previously with trading Amari for a fifth when other people get fired for trading AJ for a first. Right?
Right.
The other thing. Law, I'm going to tell you this, bro. If I ever get accused of a crime, falsely accused of a crime, falsely, I'm going to tell my representation, the first thing we need to do is omit all Dallas Cowboys fans. And he's going to say, hey, like, what are you talking about? Like, what does that have to do with you're accused of robbing a bank, right? Falsely accused. I might add, because I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to present to him all the evidence over the last year and a half of you, Big Game James, the final word. All you guys breaking down this offense, all this stuff over the last year. I'm gonna say, look, these guys don't listen to evidence.
Yeah.
These dudes, we have enough evidence here to understand when Mike McCarthy was saying, remember last year, this isn't my offense. Remember? He was saying on the Rich Eisen show.
Yeah.
That was over a year ago on the Rich Eisen show.
Yeah.
And people are barely catching on.
Yeah. Barely.
That's pathetic, man.
Barely,
That's pathetic how people are they're mad at Dak for him being in a dysfunctional offense where the OC wants to do something, the head coach wants to do something, and then you have Stephen Jones who wants to do something. How do you win in that? You have to be perfect. You have to be. And we went 12-5, right?
Right.
And that's
right.
good.
That's good.
But the way it works out is we're 12-5 until you're matched up with someone who's equal to you. That's when coaching comes into play, which comes into San Francisco back-to-back years. We were equal to them, like on skill line, as far as skill goes, right?
Yeah.
That's when the coaching. People think like just because you're in the NFL, you're automatically a vet or you're smart or you're dumb. No, the coaching has to. When it comes to tight situations, the coaching is, in my opinion, this is how I see it. I don't know if you're different. But if you're equally matched, the coaching needs to take you over the top, in my opinion. And it comes down to a few plays, right?
Yep.
It can come down to a few plays. So people are mad at, like, these William Burney guys and Dak Delusional fans. Dude, William Burney called in this guy's show a couple weeks ago, and he made himself look like an idiot. If I were you, dude.
Why you call into mines? But I feel with what you're saying, Spock, man. It's Dak Prescott fault, right, for the 27 years, unfortunately.
Exactly. Even though they have a record of not showing. Dude, Law, check this out. Over the last 27 years, remember, I called in your show actually last year, and I asked you. You're going to remember this, maybe. When they drafted Troy Aikman, who do you think that was that drafted him?
It was the previous administration. It wasn't this one.
Okay, we have Jerry and his son, or we have Jimmy, right? But since then, there is no track record of them drafting good quarterbacks. They lucked into Dak and they lucked into Romo. Romo was undrafted.
Yeah.
For my point is, for the people who are saying like draft a quarterback, they don't know how to even. Yeah.
Paxton Lynch, baby.
Yes, exactly. They don't even know how to look at a quarterback.
Yeah.
They're saying draft a quarterback. These dudes don't know what a quarterback looks like. They picked Romo too early and fucking Dak too late. I'm sorry, I'm cussed.
No, you got.
That's my point.
Is it
they don't know, dude. These guys, that's their super, whatever you want to call it, secret. They don't know what a quarterback does.
Spock,
you know
man.
what I mean? Men.
Yeah, but those who convinced against their will is of the same opinion still, man. You know how it goes,
All
man.
right, dude. Hey, Law, I don't know how you do it, bro, because if I was you, I would be banning dudes, these weirdos left and right.
No,
Kicking them
man.
on my channel. Like, I get it. Like I'm different, but
I know,
can't put
man.
up with stupid stuff, man.
No doubt, man.
Like,
I appreciate. That's why I'm here, man. I'm the equalizer, man. You know, I try to
All right,
equal
brother.
out the world, man. Appreciate you, Spock. That's my guy, man. Spock, can you save me? Yeah. So, I wasn't even planning on doing this on a Monday, y'all. But I appreciate y'all so much. I thought I was gonna be able to go down my free agent list, but my sleeper guy is Tyreek Stevenson from the U. I do like the other guy. Let me see on his list. I do like Christian Gonzalez, but I think that he will be long gone. Joey Porter, I would love to see him, but I think he will be long gone before the 26th pick. Cam Smith, that's my other guy. I like what he brings to the table. Ringo, I do like what he brings to the table, but my Tyreek Stevenson, man, I do like what he ultimately bring to the table as far as my DBs for right now. And then there's some other guys that I know that if they're 5'9", 5'10", 5'11"-ish, that the Cowboys might not even consider. 5'11" is a strong push, but they got to at least be 200 pounds. Like the other guys that we look at the list and we see that they're 185. You know, if they too small, nah, man, I don't think the Cowboys will even entertain. Unfortunately, that's just how we rock far as that on the defensive side. I'm a defensive guy. I'm more on the defensive side versus being on the offensive side. But that's how I'm going to start my evaluations are pretty much going to be more so in the lines of defense, and then we'll look at wide receivers or what have you. I do strongly agree with both of you. Most of the people are saying that we need a defensive tackle. I would love for us to entertain that, but let's be real with it. The Cowboys normally don't draft early in that. The last time we had somebody to do that was like Russell Maryland, right? That was the last time. Well, he was a first-round draft pick, and that's something that we should revisit. But Blue Kelly, I like him, but he's small. Thomason from TCU, he's small. I don't think that the Cowboys entertain that unless they primarily get those guys for slot guys. Emmanuel Forbes, y'all know, Hell State. I like what he brings to the table. Unfortunately, he may be too small. Cameron Brown from Ohio State, man, he's pretty solid, but he's coming off of an injury that was steer me away from him. But he's solid dude. He don't give up big plays. Let me know if y'all like Cam Brown. You know what I'm saying? But he's another Brown. 5'9", 200 on defense. What position is that? There's some of these DBs. So some people we won't look at that. That's some of the DBs. I think who's about that size? We'll wait for the measurables to come up. For DJ Turner. I think DJ Turner's like 6 foot though, but he's only 180 pounds. So, O-line, no short DBs. Ringo is a walking PI flag. And this is from Kai. And the reason why you said it, he's so stiff at the hips. He's he's going to have to be a safety dog. He don't turn good. And we'll see what he's going to do. And is he a fast guy? We'll find out, too, when the measurables and the stats and the whole bunch of other stuff comes around. Ringo got cooked by Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. Day 2. Julius Brent. Yep. But all right, Cowboy Nation, I done spoke to y'all long enough, man. God dog. The name of the game is, can you be 1% better than what you were a day before? Yeah, Ringo is a 4-3 guy. There's one way. Can he flip his hips and turn the other way? We'll find out. Look, Ringo, he fast, but let me see that 3-cone drill. Honey Badger 5'9". Yeah. Man, it's gonna be so much, man, film. That's why I can't wait for us to turn around and get things going for the draft time. That way, at least y'all can get some of this nasty taste out of your mouth. But that won't happen until after the Super Bowl. Right? That won't happen until after the Super Bowl of who gonna be victorious. I think on one end, it'll be more of a fire sale for the Cowboys if the Eagles win, right? I think that the Cowboys front office and everything can digest their foods a whole lot better if the Kansas City Chiefs win, right? A small part of Cowboy Nation is saying, hey, man, could it be possible that the Eagles win and that would change the mindset, change the psyche of the Jones front office? Only for a little while, but the philosophy and the thought tracks of the front office is who they are. Do it yourself project. There's nothing can change their mind. We can literally say, hey man, put Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. Nope. We can literally say, hey man, Jerry Jones, when you built that $3.5 billion stadium, the sunlight that's coming in, it's been affecting us. Can you just put the curtains up, man? It haven't been a beneficial to us for the opposing team. Have you ever noticed that, ladies and gentlemen? Like, you would think that the sunlight for the opposing team would affect them, but it affects us more than them. Ain't that crazy? That's just how it goes. So we got a lot of stuff to do this offseason. A lot of things that we got to comb through and go over, especially in this free agency, that can change some of our thoughts with this draft. But I want you guys to understand that even if you draft a player, there's still the evaluation process that got to take place. The learning curve. There's a bust in every draft year. Self-sabotage, Dre. Yeah. Cowboy Nation, write this down. When you're up against your struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin. Set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall. You may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim. But don't let your nerves deter you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If worse is bound to happen in spite of all that you do, remember this: running from it will not save you. See it through, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Something wrong with my end of credits. Oh, I forgot to read y'all super chats. So give me a few seconds while I set that up, man. I thank y'all so much, man. Let me set this super chats up. No one smaller than 5'10", you're right. Yo, let me set this super chat thing up. Boy, y'all giving me overtime for your mind, man. Overtime for your mind, man. I'm tired. I'm gonna need some milk.
He needs some milk.
Oh my gosh, man. A marathon run. All right. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to look for it. right, all right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. All right, so we're going to go through these supers, man. I thank everybody for being part of this. And let me do this. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. And we're going to go and read all of the support from the nation. We're going to do it. Boy, it started all the way. Man, you guys out. Man, y'all showing y'all tail, man. Appreciate y'all for this. All right, so I think Eastside Harrow, he was the one that said, let me make it a little bit more prettier. Hold on, y'all bear with me. Hail Mary. There we go. There we go. $2 super chat from Eastside. He said, go Astros, Texans, and Rocket. Boo. All right, Coach Marv says, trade idea law. Tyron, all right, I talked about that one already. I rejected that one.
Fatality.
Coach Marv. Law, show the caller that Dak Cap hit is not as bad as others. Please show Dak Cap hit from last year. Off the top of my head, it was $19 million, man.
Are you not entertained?
So his cap hit wasn't that bad. The dead money would be bad if you cut him. Dak has a no trade in his contract. Keep trade out of y'all mouths. This is from Dwayne and Things Brown. Appreciate you. Rush Merc 9 Law. Please let me argue with this child. This is from him. It's gonna be hard to argue with that man. You know. All right. Ill Machine. Dak has done a little more than Romo in the last time. He has time to improve on that, so get him some more weapons and let him cook. DC for life. You're right. You're right. Let him cook, man. Shout out to Tony Romo and all what he brings to the table, though. No hate, no shade at him, because I know how people get. But the reality of it is, ladies and gentlemen, is that, Dak has done more so far, but we still need to get more and more out of Dak, believe it or not. So that's just how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so the next one is Spock, can you save me? William Burnett, call in. We need a repeat of Skywalker smoke your booty the other day, I guess. Somebody blowing smoke. What happened to Dak friendly offense? I don't know. That went out with the old administration, though, even though you had Kelly Moore here. We just need to be philosophy of West Coast principles and not mixing oil and water. And when we think about that, Devon, it started off was a Romo friendly, and then it went to a Dak friendly. The Cowboys just need to have football friendly. You know what I mean? Football people in the building. And allow those who speak football, coach football, to do football, right? Y'all get what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all so much. If we go get a 2-ton bucket of water and put it on your back and a 2-ton bucket in a trunk, which one going further? The 2-ton bucket in the trunk. In the truck, I meant to say. So what you're saying is that he can only carry so much, and I love this philosophy. That's from Weibo, from the 702. And you'll be able to go further with the truck. Dak is better than Hurts, Purdy, but the San Francisco and the Philly organizations are better than the Cowboys. The constant over the last 27 years is the Joneses. This is from B. Bird. Appreciate you, B. Bird. Let's stick with Dak and the DC team. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It is what it is. We are all settled. This is from Tasso. Shout out to you, Dwayne Barber. This is LA Laker Show 247 says this is why the 3-ladder and the 4-ladder network is planting the seeds, talking bad about our team and wanting us to fight amongst each other to make it a toxic relationship, basically. Charlie J.
Sacrifice, don't give up the fight.
No doubt, man. This is Charlie G. Honestly, Dak could have beaten the 49ers and the Eagles with the talent that was 12-5 team. I'm sorry they made no in-game adjustments. They keep saying, fire Dak, but who else you getting? Nobody has that answer. Cooper Rush, man. Charlie G, they talk about Cooper Rush.
Don't give up the fight. Everything will be all right.
No doubt, man. Law, I'm just playing with you, Charlie G, but that's just how it goes. This is from JR. Law, was Corey Holcomb 5150? Question mark. You really trying to get canceled. Shout out to Corey Holcomb. All right, y'all. That's all of the super chats, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all to the moon and back. Cowboy Nation, I've been here for a long time, not a short time. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content. Let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Salute. I'm getting me something to eat, y'all. Salute. But Lord, if we do this and do that, we can be like we were 30 years ago. And what Jerry Jones said?
I ain't trying to be like 30 years ago. I ain't trying to make no comeback. I'm gone, and I want to stay gone. Lao Tzu says, free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestation.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed as an organization about how the team is playing?
Get your damn act together yourself, okay?